Grill? Grill, you okay? All right, well, thanks again, everybody, for coming out to our first meeting here in May. And for the agenda, Walk of Faith Ministries, is that correct? They should be on there?
I don't see it. If it is, I just don't see it.
Okay,
Right.
we'll put it on there.
Also, I'd like to add, Delta Health Alliance, Dolly Parton, Reading a Missionary Program.
Y'all got that? Anything else? Anyone else? Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. And the minutes.
So moved to approve.
Got a motion? Got a second. Questions, comments? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Got one nay. Motion carries. And E911 expenditures.
Good morning.
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 Kinda short on room up here. All right, I have the 911 expenditures for the month of April. Those expenditures total $39,287.31.
So moved to approve.
I got a motion. Need a second? Any questions or comments? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Want to give y'all an update. Our outdoor warning system, they've been here a couple of times. They're working on it, getting all the bugs worked out that we knew were gonna be in the system. They've got all that figured out, so they're fixing to start installation. However, there's 4 newer sirens we have that we thought we were gonna be able to replace the circuit board because the radio is built into the circuit board. But Wheeling doesn't have a circuit board to match the radio system we're going to. So we need 4 additional radios. I've got 2 quotes here. One is from ComSouth for $7,858.24.
7,000, how much?
$7,858.24. And I have a second quote from Precision Communications. $18,507.
Board,
It's like a no-brainer. ComSci, where are they located?
Hattiesburg.
Okay, so we'll go for the lowest.
I got a motion for the lowest.
Got a question?
I got a question.
It's a big difference, David.
It was the last
I mean, that's
time.
$11,000 difference.
One is adding a whole bunch of services
Okay.
that we don't have to have, but they put it on there.
Okay.
All right, got a second, Supervisor Redmond. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Got a couple of items here that were budgeted this year in the EMA budget. One is the emergency meals for the shelters. Y'all remember that? I put in the budget request. I've gotten quotes. This is for 2 pallets, and I believe it was gonna feed 48 hours, I think, 350 people for 48 hours, which would give us the time to get somebody in the kitchen and get them cooking. The first quote is from More Prepared LLC. That amount total is $13,613.10. And the second quote is from the Ready Store. And that quote is $15,527.98.
Where are they both located?
Ooh. One is in Torrance, California.
That's the 13,000.
Yes, ma'am. The other one, I don't know. Nowhere close, I can tell you that.
I got a question. So when the food comes, is it in a box already prepared?
It's
Prepared?
an
or what?
MRE, it's meals ready to eat. It's a 1,700 calorie meal in a pack. It's got a entree, beverage, dessert, snack. One meal basically will feed somebody for a day.
So they send it to us now, or should we have a natural disaster, then they overnight it to us? How does that work?
No, we'll buy it and we will store it here
Oh.
in the event that we need it.
So let's say we don't use it. How long will it be?
They're good for 5 years, at least 5 years.
Okay.
So this would only be done every 5 years or more.
I move we go with the lowest.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, David?
Yes, sir.
One other questions. You said the location. Where are the locations?
One was in California, the
No,
other
no, no, I'm
one,
talking about locations where we would take our locations for shelters. Where are
the
those?
convention center.
Okay, this for the convention center.
Yes.
So should we have a situation and they decide to go to the county's location in Hollandale, will we be able to set that up for a possible shelter as well?
Yes.
Anything else for David? Go ahead,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Sandbagging machine. The machine we need, only one person makes. I have a sole source letter here. This sandbagger is from the Sandbagger store. The manufacturer sells direct. They do not have vendors that sell for them. This is the only one that's going to do what we need it to do. It's an ultimate bagger for $48,750.
Yeah, I want to say, what made it a sole source? What do they do different from other, I guess, competitors?
Three things. Their agitator system they have is double what the others are. That keeps the sand loose to where the bagging machine will feel. So it comes down, it's measured, the bags are measured. What's going in the bag is measured. You set that, and then once it loads the bag, you pull it out. It's got a conveyor belt that it goes down, and it's got a sewing machine head on it that sews the bag.
Oh, go, okay.
What were the specs that you put together to indicate that you wanted this particular machine?
I just did a search on sandbagging machines. I've been working on this for 4 months now, trying to find another machine that will do this.
The problem is, the law says that if there are other similar machines out there, there are other machines out there, and then we have to receive quotes or bids from each and every one of them. And if this board determines from those quotes or bids that one of the others do not meet the needs of the county, then it can go with that, with that particular machine.
Okay.
Okay?
I have other quotes. They're not anywhere close to the same machine, but it's the only machines that are out there.
I do
So
have
I
a
will
question.
get them and come back.
Now, what was the other thing that this machine did? You told us two things. What was the
Sew.
third thing it did? I know it's sewing. What else?
First thing, it measures the right amount of
Right.
sand. If you make sandbags with different amounts of sand in them, when you stack them up, they leak because they don't lay flat. Sewing them also helps them to lay completely
Right.
flat, and they stack and they hold the water out better. They don't hold it out completely.
So
but
the
they
other
hold
two
it out
don't do this. Whatever quotes you got, it doesn't do that.
No.
Okay. And how long does it take to fill the bag up? So you just put the bag in and put the sand in, and then it sews it up, or do it have to
Yeah,
have
you
manual
walk
labor?
up, you put the bag in, it's got a switch on it. When the bag goes under it, it dumps a measured amount of sand. You pull it out, give it one bounce, send it down the conveyor, somebody else sews it, and then they stack it on a pallet.
Okay.
So it's about a 5-person job.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, let's talk. Since you said you had to have another quote, what was the other quote that you got?
I don't have them with me. I'll get them and bring them back.
So I do have a question, Attorney Griffin. If he gets a letter that says they're sole source and no one else does it, why would we need to?
Normally, normally if it's a sole source, you have to have a letter,
He has a letter.
okay? But you got a letter stating that this is a sole source provider?
Yes.
No one else makes sandbags?
Not like this one, no, sir. Well, I had it.
You know, we started this conversation a few years ago about sandbagging when we were having some serious flooding issues. And if you would come out to the expo building next time we do the sandbagging, you'll see how labor intensive it is. We'd even shifted to a process where if citizens brought their own shovel, we provide the bags and they could fill them themselves because of, you know, just how labor intense it was or it is. So what's the pleasure of the board?
I'm gonna let the attorney do his reading, then I'll make a motion.
David, you say this thing is how much? 48?
48,000.
48,750?
All right, is that in your budget?
Yes.
Just let him go and finish what he's doing, and then we can come back to that.
Oh, yeah, proceed, David. You got anything else you want to share with us?
One more thing.
Thanks, Lee.
It's two items, but they really go together. Our domain, our Delta Ready domain for our emails is up for renewal, as well as our website annual fee. The domain is $32.98 for the year, and the domain is $324 for the year.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second? If there are no other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Talked to Clay early this morning. He's been up on the lake, and he's got a plan he's gonna share with you. They're getting ready to start clearing the road and the road right away in preparation for the people to clean their yards and put it back on the right away. So, we're working on that, and I've also talked to him about we're gonna turn our sandbagging program on today and get some sand delivered at some different locations, because we're forecasted 7 inches of rain in the next couple of days, so. Shouldn't be, we've done this 2 or 3 times already this year, so it shouldn't be a lot of people that need a sandbag, but nevertheless, we need to make them available to protect property.
Only the sandbag machine, the sandbag company purchased these sandbags from Baggers LLC, and that is the only one they sell. And then it said we are the sole provider of the ultimate Baggers
Correct.
machine from that particular company. But there are potentially others out there. They just sold, that's the only one they sell. Okay, that's why they said it's sold.
And that's the only one we need. If we don't need any of the others.
And then I suspect we do need something to indicate that those cannot fulfill the responsibility of this particular machine.
Okay? I have all that in my office. I will get it and get it back over here.
What's the pleasure?
I think
No
we need to
action
wait on
until he
that.
come back.
All right. David?
That's all I have.
Hey, man, appreciate you. We look forward to you coming back with the necessary information.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate your support.
All righty. County Engineer.
Good morning.
Morning.
Each of y'all should have a package in front of you with quite a few things we need to go over today. First thing on our report, we're going to skip over the first 2 items. We'll come back to those at the end because we're going to need quite a few things, some action on several board orders. Again, we're just continuing to work on all these other bridges that we've got under our state aid related issues. Also under our general county engineer issues for our ERBR projects that we have, the CRSA projects, the 2 on Winterville-Priscilla Road and also the Avondale Road. Avondale, we're ready to advertise. We'll talk about that at the very end of what I'm going through today. We're going to need some additional funds on that and also on the Winterville-Priscilla roads. We're just waiting on a certificate of right-of-way from MDOT, and then we'll be ready to submit our final PS&E assembly to them. On the second page, they've changed the deadline for our E-flat program. That's the Woodsaw Mill Road Bridge application we're going to submit for 100% funding. We have met on the animal shelter since the last meeting, and we're checking on some ownership at the convention center of some of the property out there. And then one of the things since our last meeting, the NRCS sent out a notice that Washington County, due to some April storms, would be eligible for some potential funding. We've submitted, I talked with President McGee, we submitted some sites that have some severe erosion under these bridges, and we've submitted the initial sites, but we'll also have to follow up with a request letter from to the NRCS asking for assistance with these projects. And I would just think the board needs to have an order that Mr. McGee, President McGee, can sign any documents related to the NRCS EWP program.
This is available funding, and it is, how time sensitive is it, Mark?
We have to submit the letter by June 5. So
Okay.
next month, we just have to submit the letter requesting funding, saying, hey, these are the sites that we're gonna want. We're gonna do it, we're gonna put it out to bid. We request that you provide us with the funding that we need. Then after we submit that letter, within the next month, we'll submit cost estimates, photos, documentation, and then they will go through there. And it's 75-25% funding. Federal government will provide 75%, the county will provide 25%. We don't have a cost yet, but you've got to submit these documents to be included in potential funding of these sites.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The sites that you located, are these bridges and it's up under the bridge?
That's correct. All except for the Lake Washington weir, and it's on the outlet of the downside of the weir where it's eroding. The rest of them are places that we've noted before. Sunflower River Road Bridge, I think y'all have made some temporary repairs. It's in pretty bad shape, and it needs some more repairs done to it again. And same thing with Kennedy Flat. I think that's been brought to y'all's attention in the past, and it's just been limited funding that's been able to do it. And the same with Helm Road. There's some issues there, but they're all bridge-related channel bank stabilization projects.
I'd like to move forward, we apply for this funding.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other questions? No questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, that's unanimous.
I want to go back to NRCS. Do they have anything for drainage? Because I'm going back to the area in my district off
Right.
Highway 82. Is there any funding
Not
for
right
that?
now. Not, because all the funding for this EWP has got to be an outlet protection, channel stabilization, or slope stabilization. If you've got a slide next to a road or under a bridge, it's all that. It's not necessarily for funding. I mean, for flooding. It's all something related to slope stability or stuff like that. This is what this
When you say
specific
slope stability, what do you mean?
like if you look on the side of the road where it starts kind of caving off, sometimes when you get a lot of rain and it kind of washes away, get some erosion or stuff like that, if it were coming to where it may endanger the road or something like that, it would apply. That's specifically what that's for.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mark, it's on you.
Okay, we've made an assessment of all the 82 bypass related roads, and we're working on some costs for y'all. We should have that by the first meeting next month or sooner. And then also in Stokes King, we went and took our drones and did a flight last week before they get started, and we'll provide that to the planning office so they'll have some documentation of what it looks like before the construction starts down there.
Outstanding.
So we'll give that to Ms. Shirley, and Roy will provide them that documentation. And we'll periodically throughout the year in the course of construction, we'll take some more videos, and that way you'll have a documented condition throughout the time, just in case we run into the same scenario. Hopefully we won't, but that's what we'll do.
I'd like to go back to number 8 on the county road damage. How are you planning to, how did you put in for chip and seal or asphalt of those?
We're going to look at
roads?
each one of them and see what it was prior to that. And, we'll have to go in and make some repairs. We've identified what failures are in the road. We'll figure out a way to fix those. And then if it's asphalt already on there, we'll come back with an asphalt. And if it's chip and seal, we'll come back with the chip and seal.
Like VF&W and Black Bayou Road. that road is half chip, half
Right.
asphalt, and so I really like for us to go back asphalt.
Right, well, the problem we're gonna have to put it back what was there so we're getting apples to apples. They're not gonna, if we take it to them and say, hey, we want all asphalt, and it was
Yeah.
chip seal, they're gonna say, that's a no-go for us.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying, a small portion is a small portion is chip and seal, but the large portion is asphalt. So I would hate to see we come in and do a small portion chip and seal and go
Right.
asphalt.
Well, our cost estimate will be to return it to its original condition. And then what the board chooses to do, when we get whatever settlement, it will be up to y'all whether we go back chip and seal. But we're gonna have to make it like to like to give them an estimate, so when they look at it, that doesn't just throw up a huge red flag to begin with. Now, what action y'all wanna take after we get a settlement with them, that will be strictly up to the board and how y'all gonna do that.
Going back with asphalt is an option, but right now, we're just trying to put some estimates together for Utah Construction
Yes,
in order to see how much money they're willing to contribute to the overall project
My
of
other,
restoring the roads.
okay, my other concern is, I know you said go back to its original state. I do have a concern with that because some roads was a new road, like Cohen Road, that was a brand new road, I got that. But my other concern is, I know you say go back to the original state it was before they came, but we were very inviting to Utah, and I was taught when you go somewhere, you make it better. And so I would hate for them to come back and only give us $1 and bring it back to the state it initially was, when we have been extremely kind and friendly, always having workforce there to assist when they need it.
Yes,
So I just think we want to make sure we improve our roads, not
Right.
just bring it back to the same, same status it was before they came.
Okay. We'll definitely put that in consideration, yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Okay, so for the meat of what we're here for today, the next sheet is just a summary of what we're gonna talk about next. On April the 24th, we took bids on 5 bridges here in Washington County.
Page we on.
You're on this page, should be the 3rd page. That should be number 1, this should be right behind it.
Okay.
All right, this is just to give you an idea. We took, in the past 8 months since y'all brought us back, we took bids on April the 24th for $5,506,265.46. So we have looked at all the bids that we received. We've talked with our district engineer. He was here with us when we opened the bids. We've gone through each one of them, and we found that all of them seem to be in order. We got some pretty good bids for the bridges we did. So the first thing that we need to do, they've given us, each of you should have a letter for SABP 7601 with our recommendation. We had 6 plan holders, and we had a bid. The low bid was submitted by Key LLC of Madison, and the amount of $1,637,824.76. Now, our recommendation would be to award the project to Key, and also to establish a project fund in the amount of $1,916,200. And we have a board order that was prepared by our district engineer that will need to be signed by the president of the board and Ms. Hansel to effectively award the SABP 7601 Club 17 Road.
So move.
We got a motion? I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Jerry. If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So the next letter, and that's, you have the letter and the bid tabulation, if you want to look at all that good
I do
information.
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The project fund, that is what state aid is funding? for
That's
this project?
correct. All this is coming from state aid, none of it out of the county general budget, that's correct. So the next bridge we have is the LSBP 7629 Handley Road Bridge. For that, again, we had 6 plan holders. We had one main bidder was Key LLC of Madison. Their low bid was $1,278,047.10. And we're going to recommend that for award to Key. Then for our state aid project fund, we need to establish a fund for $1,495,300. And that's for the LSBP 7629 on Handley Road.
Any questions?
So moved.
Second.
Again, here's the same order. We'll need it signed by Mr. McGee, President McGee and Ms. Hansel.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right. The next one we have should be for the LSBP 7630 on Baker Road. On that, we had 6 plan holders. We had 5 bids on that project. The low bidder was Hemp Hill Construction Company out of Florence in the amount of $729,290.50.
Is it 172,
724.
Okay.
29050. It should be on your, you should have a letter, and it has all that on there. And then we'll need to establish a project fund in the amount of $847,400. We've got the board order for that, for 7630 on Baker Road.
All right,
So moved.
I got a motion. I need
Second.
and a second. If there are other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So is that
Motion
the
carries.
difference is a contingency fund?
Contingency fund and engineering fees, yes, ma'am. Okay, the next one we have is on Burdette Road. It's LSBP 7631. It's the closed bridge on Burdette. We had 6 plan holders. We had 4 bids on this. Our low bid was a company called McBride Co. LLC at Batesville. They built bridges for us in Washington County. Their low bid was $997,241.10. And then we also recommend that we award to them as the low bidder, and we needed a project fund established for $1,166,800. That's
So moved.
We got a motion. We got a second.
Same.
Any questions? If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just a quick note on the LSBP funds. With the awarding of those 3 bridges, we now, for the remainder of the term, have a balance of $52,282 left in our LSBP fund. Now, that's after we lost our rescission money last year, but we're going to continue on the roads that are already programmed to continue to work on those. We're going to continue to submit them to state aid, and we're going to ask for pool money. What they do is when they take money back from counties, they put in a pool. We're going to go back to them and say, hey, we want some more money. We deserve the money that you took from us, and we're going to continue to build out these bridges and keep asking for money for the remainder of this term. So we got that one out of the way. Now, our last one that we have, let's see. You should have, is for the ERBR 7609 Surveillance Station Road. That was one of the projects that we took over, and this was one that was supposed to be obligated by the end of January. We did have 6 plan holders on this, and we had 4 people submit bids. Our low bid on this, again, was McBride Co. LLC out of Batesville in the amount of $868,862. And then on this one, we would need to establish a project fund in the amount of $1,064,800. But let me just put a note on this. So we had submitted an y'all that had last year or 2 years ago, maybe longer than that, there was an application submitted for this project. The application was submitted in the amount, let's see, of $487,150.84. And as you can see, our bid with our project fund and all the contingencies and stuff is going to be $1,064,702.33. So we really have a shortfall on this project of $577,551.49 that we need. We have prepared some documentation, submitted it to Commissioner Simmons, asked him for additional money. What you could have done in the past is if you had state aid money, LSBP money, we could go and get that, but we got $52,000, so we're short. You know, part of the MOA that y'all executed with the Transportation Commission says that you will fund whatever shortfall there is in that bridge project. So to fund this project, we're going to have to come up with an additional $578,000 basically. We've made a request. We've sent some documentation to Commissioner Simmons. My father spoke with Commissioner Simmons. I think President McGee spoke to Commissioner Simmons, and we're just waiting to hear if maybe we can get some additional ERBR funds. Don't know that that will or will not happen, but that's where we are. To award that project, we need to have some additional funding beyond what's provided to us.
I have a question.
Oh,
When
let
do-
me get Supervisor Gordon first.
When do you think that you'll hear back from him?
I don't know, you know, because he'll have to, if they, I mean, it may be a month, it could be two, because he'll have to go back to the commission, see what money they have, and then it would have to come back through the commission. He can't just grant us the money without the commission as a whole agreeing to that and pushing money around. I mean, it's not unprecedented, but I don't know what his time frame would be on that.
Ms. Brooks?
Yes, you said we initially submitted this application. When did the county do that?
Oh, I wasn't here, so I really couldn't tell you. I would say
First
it was
of the-
prior to sometime in '22.
Yeah,
So
2021, 2022.
when it was submitted in 22, of course, everything has gone up. The state don't take that in consideration that the price of everything has gone up since 2022.
Typically, what you would do is you build in some fluff into your estimates you submitted, because you don't know when you're going to get the money, and you got to realize you're supposed to have these things under contract typically within a year or a year and a half. So typically, the ones that we have done in the past, we've tried to inflate our prices, because the thing with this money, if you don't get enough money, you have to pay for it. If you get too much money, they don't send you all of it. They don't send you extra money, but if you come in and if we had said, hey, it's going to cost $2 million and we only going to end up getting it for $1 million, they're only going to send you $1 million. But if you say, hey, it's going to cost $500,000 and it costs you $2 million, you're out of pocket for the remainder of it. So unless
So-
we can beg Steve, beg, and that's kind of what we're doing right now.
So, all right, when you bought it back, was it like a resubmit, or you just kind of went on with it as it was? Did you resubmit it, or because apparently another engineering firm submitted it?
Right, there wasn't a resubmit. You already had a contract with the Transportation Commission, and we just took what we had from there. Really, the only thing we were able to get, we got nothing from them. I think there was some requests for information. The only thing we were able to download from the ERBR portal that MDOT has, we were able to pull down the cost estimate and a schedule, and that was it.
So they just don't look at your new number?
No, they don't. That's what they give you the money and say, this is your money. Anything
what-
you do above that is out of your pocket.
But have we received the money yet?
We've received a partial payment, and then with this board order, I've got a request letter that would be signed by the president. We'll send it to them, and we'll get it in 3 weeks.
So we have not, we just received some of the money?
That's all, they always do that. They receive it, and then when you get the construction bids and you submit, we have like 12 documents we've got to submit to them, then they will send you the remainder of the money up to the grant award. Like I said, if we would have been under that number, they would only send you up to what you're going to spend. They're not going to send you above that. So they're going to send us everything we asked for, or everything that y'all had applied for, but we still have a shortfall of $578,000 for this bridge.
Lee?
If we take no action today on the rest of the funding, will that slow the project down, just waiting on the answer from the commissioner?
Just a little bit, yeah, because I mean, some of the documents we had to submit to the state, and then at some point, by next month, at some point we'll run out of time on our bid. We'll have like 60 days or so before we'd have to go back and rebid the whole project.
So if we take action today to fund it, I just hate to do that, and
Right.
and
Well,
when we would
even if you
possibly
take
get it.
action to fund it and he gives us the money,
Okay.
we haven't spent the money. The money is not going to probably get spent for several months down the line. So if we get the money, he gives us the award, we can just take that money. It would come as like a supplement. They would send you a supplemental agreement, what they've done in other counties. They'll send you a supplemental MOA. If they do fund that, you would sign that, and then we would send another request and get the remainder of the $578,000 we're asking for.
As you said, you can't resubmit the application because there was a deadline on submitting to begin with. So all the initial, all they've got set up is all we're gonna get, unless, the commissioner finds some extra money and, like Mark said, makes a memorandum of agreement with the state to do it. And it just was not enough funding requested by about half, on this project originally.
Okay, Lee?
Unless there's any other question, I just make a motion that we
I
fund,
have a
we'll
question.
identify.
I got a motion. Go ahead, Ms. Gray.
Yeah, how strong does the commissioner come through and help counties on projects
Well.
like this?
Well,
He is as strong as we've ever had.
Okay, so, I mean, this is not out the loop that we're trying to get this.
No,
kind of
ma'am.
funded.
No,
You
it's
know,
not
I can't
outside
say it's
the norm.
guaranteed, but
No.
he does an exceptional job for the
Yeah,
Delta.
I just want to make sure this is not something out far away and it is the norm.
But,
Not the norm, but it's not far away, yes, ma'am.
we've recently,
Not the norm, it's a very rare occasion, but he has done it in the past.
Okay, thank you.
as recent as over the last 2 years. So we've gotten support from it before. You good, Lee?
Yes.
I got your motion. I got a second from Supervisor Redmond. If there are no other questions, all in favor, show by
Point
sign.
information, the motion was to
Sign
do
of aye.
what? I said
To
point of
award the
information.
Motion
project.
carries.
I said point of information,
Come
you
on.
know, now what'd you say, sir?
We're gonna award, we got a board order to award the project to the low bidder, McBride Co. LLC, in the amount of $868,862, and then also establish a project fund in the amount of $1,064,800.
Okay.
And that motion allows the president of the board to sign any other necessary documents. We've got some checklists that we have to submit to MDOT, and some fund request letter. We have to have this to request the remaining balance, so.
Okay. Yeah, I carried the motion.
You carried the motion, I said point of information.
All in favor of the motion, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, so the last thing, like I said, we're down to these ERBR and CRSA projects that we need to get,
What page we on now?
this will be the big one on the back, it's gonna look like that. All right, so the very bottom of it, like I said, we've got the Avendar Love, the ERBR 7608, ready to advertise. We're just sitting on it until we can get some other issues resolved with that. Again, if you'll look over here on the right side, on your left side, this is what we have based on the current condition and our current estimates of what the projects are gonna cost. Over here on the right side is the information that came out of your funding applications, the stuff that we were able to get from the state and download from the ERBR site. So the total MOA award, the memorandum of agreement across all 4 projects was $2,661,673.12. We went back and based on our awards, the ERBR we just awarded, based on the construction estimates of the other projects. We think for these 4 projects, it's gonna take $5,796,215 to get all those completed. So, for the 4 projects, we're gonna need an additional $3,134,541. Less, well, we still need that money, that $578,000 we talked about. So, you know, this is something else to be in consideration. Now, is he gonna come across for all these? That's gonna be a difficult ask. But just before we get too far out and get these things advertised, we need to sit down and think about what we need to do and how we can come up with the funds that we need to get these projects done. I know in the past y'all had set aside some money for bridges. I don't think this current budget y'all did. I think the only thing you have is your use tax money. It's only about $1.4 million a year, which again is not sufficient to cover the needs that we have, so.
Well,
Hey,
we
Lee,
already said that we was gonna use.
Hold on, Ms. Brooke. Let me get Supervisor Gordon.
Oh.
If you want to speak, please be recognized.
If you, of course, we're coming up during our budget session here shortly. How soon would you need to know something on that?
Well, the CRSA projects were the ones that were supposed to be done the end of 2023. We asked for a reprieve when we came in, and they've given us that until we can get them done. We can drag our feet a little bit longer on those, but sometimes we need to move forward. They do know we've made good progress. We've had plenty of meetings with MDOT, and right now we're actually waiting on MDOT to get those 2 finalized. The other one, of course, it was the Avendar Love. It was supposed to be under contract by the end of January of 2025. We can sit on it for a little while. I don't think it's, you know, they see what progress we've made in the past 8 months for y'all, and they know where we are with these. But we do need to, in the very near future, get some type of a plan to figure out how we're gonna fund this.
Give me a deadline on that. When you say near future, what are you
I
talking
mean,
about?
the next, say, 3 months, 4 months
Okay.
at the most. If we can find something, like I said, we can wait on these a little bit, because we're gonna have A lot of work started, but we do need to really start thinking about how we're going to come up with additional
When do you
funds.
plan on starting the budget session?
Yeah, that would be I think we can make that work.
Ms. Brooks?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I guess the concern is, these are all the projects that we initially submitted.
Yes, ma'am. That's the end of the ones that y'all had submitted, and you have an MOA with the Mississippi Transportation Commission.
Thank you.
And we'll also be communicating very heavily with State Aid, Mr. Harold Lee James.
Right. And we'll
For some
continue, we will submit all this stuff again to Mr. Commissioner Simmons, but there's only so far he's going to be able to stick his neck on the line for us to get additional funds, because we're not the only ones that will be asking. But just, I want to make y'all aware of it, because I don't want to keep bringing these things in there we bid and put out and then say, hey, by the way, we need $1 million.
Yeah, that's
We need $500,000 or whatever. If we can get this hammered out before we put them out to bid again, we'd be in a much better condition. So
right.
that's all I have. I think my dad, we had a meeting with Harry Lee James this past week with the county engineers about this House Bill 1. One thing he did mention, he can tell you the rest of it, but he said be aggressive in spending your money. I think you can see we've been aggressive in 8 months, and we're not going to stop. And we're going to ask for more. So.
All right. Lee?
Real quick,
Yes, sir.
just a couple things. On that second page on the NRCS,
Yes, sir.
is it possible to add another project to that?
Yeah, I've got till tomorrow.
Would you take a look? It's south of Glen Allen, but it's on the lake side of the road, and it's sloughing off a little bit. Like I would say, I'm sorry, it's north of Glen Allen. I would say 3 or 4 miles north of Glen Allen, but you'll see it once we've repaired the road there a few times, and it's right in the curve there. Would you take a look at that
We
and see
will.
if that would?
Yep.
And
We'll
then
get it submitted tomorrow.
yeah, and then the only other thing while we're here, I met with Mark down on Lake Washington the other day, and we had looked at something and we said we'd have to bring it to the full board. We've got some drainage down there on our road, the culverts that run right beside our road. Well, it drains under Lake Washington Road. When it drains under the road, it goes underground and it goes, I guess, right in between 2 properties, but it goes all the way to the lake. That culvert is, I guess, it's broke there. It's washing that out. We were looking at it. Of course, that's going down to the lake. We would have to get access and what was you saying, Mark? We need.
Use and occupancy for temporary construction of the property owners to do that construction.
Is that doable? I'm asking the attorney. Is that doable to be able to do that? Like I said, it goes right between. It's not our property. We'd have to get access to that. But it is, like I say, it drains the road, the main road. It goes under Lake Washington Road. And I guess about, I don't know, probably 10 or 20 foot past that, it's broke and it's washing the bank out. And we're not draining our water off the road, getting to the lake.
Okay. So you're unable to drain the water off the road?
Well, it's stopping right there, right now, stopping up right there, and it's coming over the road, yes. Yeah.
If you have an engineer's
Can't hear you.
if you have an engineer's report stating that it's necessary to utilize private property to assist in the drainage, the clearing of the road to ensure that the project goes forward, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay? But they would have to put it in writing, explain it, and so the board can spread it in its minutes to justify it.
Okay.
That's what we talked about, that you would need to see a finding of fact
Yes,
that you can present to the board, and the board approves the work off of the existing county right of way, which is
that's correct.
probably about another 170 feet to get where this water has been going for the past, I would say, ever since before I was here. That goes before I was.
Yeah, the object is to ensure that this will benefit, this for the benefit of the county and its road, and not to benefit the private
Right.
citizens.
So the next step would be for him to prepare the letter, get it to you, or get it to you and then to the
Right,
board.
explaining what need to be done and why, and to justify the utilization of the private property.
So no motion, nothing needs, no motion needs to.
I would postpone consideration right now.
Till you get the letter.
Until,
Gotcha.
you get that statement.
Okay.
Mr. Griffin, talk to me about property owners' approval for this project.
Right away
For
request.
this, they're going down through this property owner's property. And not only will they have to make it whole again, we'll have to invest in fixing it like it was or better.
Well,
Talk to me about that piece.
A part of that would also come from the engineers, whether or not they need right of way, okay? If so, how do you go about acquiring, all right? So, you contact, generally speaking, you contact those owners, and they know this, they've done it. And a lot of the private owners will voluntarily agree to it, and you can get statements from them indicating you use their profit to assist the county. Others, if they suffer any loss and they want to be compensated for it, you have to compensate. But we're not taking any profit.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so there's no justification for compensation.
Yeah, we just look for the right of way.
Right, you
Yeah.
just utilize.
Yeah, gotcha.
We had planned to, draw up a set of plans on it, preliminary plans, because it's out of the ordinary as far as laying it. It's not just straight across the road. It's gonna be several bends to get it down to the water, and, we'd actually, like you say, draw up a description, for a use and occupancy permit for the purpose of the drainage easement. And have to get the right of way, and, like you say, it would be wise for them to donate it, because it is in their best interest, instead of us just putting the culvert in and letting it flow out across there, like it did evidently sometime in the past, and they just might put that pipe on down to the lake.
Now, if you're gonna request permanent easements, some may want to be compensated for a permanent easement, okay? Others will, I remember I had one time, an owner said that, put conditions on it, out here outside of Leland, okay? And I brought it back to the board, they said, no, we're not gonna put that condition on it, so we'll compensate. So you have to, a lot of these owners, you just meet with them, and most of them will give you that easement.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
That's it.
Everybody good? Appreciate y'all.
So you want to give them a little update about what Mr. James said?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add is, we had a Zoom meeting with, all the county engineers, state agency engineer, and several of his other, finance people and all. And one of the big things, like Mark said, James urged us to continue to be very aggressive with our funds and spend them, and that kind of proves to the legislature that all these requests we're making for funds is justified. We're doing something with them, we're getting out more than they have. And, he has worked extensively with the legislature. And in the new budget, they added, 3 cents a gallon per year for 3 years. And what that will do, between now and 2028 is, double the state aid budget. It'll go from around $96 million a year to, it'll go from $53 million a year to about $96 million a year. By putting that fuel increase in there, and they also indexed that, as of now, and in 1994, when the current state aid budget was set up at $53 million, they did not index the, fuel tax money. In other words, it was set at a certain amount, and if the CPI goes up and all these expenses go up, it did not go up. Well, now it does. It'll go up with the CPI, so there's a possibility for some additional money depending on the development around. Right now, state aid is spending around $30 million a year on bridge inspection, and, as a result of those inspections, we're justifying more money and, getting that done. And, so this new budget money that he's talking about will give us some money to do roads. We hadn't done a lot of roads in a long time, even the state aid roads, not just the county roads, but we hadn't had enough funds to do the bridges and the roads, and it shows in the roads. They're reaching some really critical points, and, so this new money, as it comes along, help us, add on to that. Like I say, his main one was keep up spending. And initially, when state aid was set up in 1949, they authorized 25,000 miles of designated roads in the county, and each county has so many miles. And, so they don't want to increase that 25,000 miles, but, if we see there's some roads that, as time has changed, they don't need to be on the state aid system, we need to spend our money somewhere else. We can delete those and add on some newer roads, but it has to be
I got a question. So that also just include county roads as well?
This is, no, not all county roads, it's only state aid designated.
But I was asking because it was conversation at MAS about trying to get funding, not just go to state aid designated roads, but also county roads, because that's a problem statewide, that we do need funding for county roads.
They have a LSRP project that you can spend a certain amount of state aid money on lower class roads, other than state aid roads, but you have to have your state aid roads up to a certain standard before you can just.
Can I say something? An area like the Delta, how do we get on that level when, you know, just about all our roads are in deplorable shape because we don't get the funding we need to? So how do you get to a level that you can actually do that when pretty much all our state aid roads are not up to par?
You have to keep doing it with Market does with these state aid roads, keep that, every penny that we have, and keep asking for more and get the roads that we already have is as good a shape as we can, and do what Mr. Norris and y'all are doing now, is spending all the money we can spend on improving the road that we got. But they decide, you know, we're at that point, you know, and we, you know,
And my other concern is you said with
Okay, you
state
want
aid, you do 25,000 roads, which was 20.
they have 25,000 miles of
Yeah.
state aid roads in the whole state.
So for the whole state?
Whole state.
Okay, all right.
And those things, they're already designated. Every county has so many miles. Washington County may have a couple of miles that have not been designated, but we have a limit on what we can designate in each county. And, but it cannot go over that 25,000, you know.
For the whole
entire
state.
And we can't therefore go over the amount that's designated.
Stated for Washington County, I got you.
Any other questions, comments? Mark, appreciate y'all.
Good. All right, thank you.
Road manager.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey,
Good
how you doing,
morning.
sir?
A couple things gonna start out with, as David mentioned to y'all, I took out this morning and went up to the Lake Ferguson area up there to check out the situation on the backwater that come up. We got a lot of drift issues up there. We're gonna address that today, get started on it, get that road open. David also mentioned this rain we got coming in. Looking at a lot of rain. We're gonna get some sandbags, get some sand moved to the Hollandale area. We're gonna do some sand under the horse arena, get some bags from David, get that going. Get some of my crew to start sandbagging, have some stocked up for this, just in case. So we're gonna implement that in the next couple of days. Where we're at, we're moving pretty good on our chip seal projects. We're moving right on along. We're on Key Road next, and we'll be moving out of Key Road, moving to Wilcox. We got some tore up spots there. It's been tore up for a couple of years. We're gonna overlay those few spots. We're just gonna be moving on down what's been tore up over the years, trying to get back. We also received our rental roller for blacktopping. We got it in towards the end of last week. I'm gonna be working with my assistant road manager, getting him on the blacktopping, get him kind of set up to, you know, oversee that blacktopping stuff going on this year. The Stokes King culverts we're putting in, we're halfway through that project. We got them over there today working. The big issue over there is, of course, the rain every few days we're getting. Makes it hard to get dry dirt to get in the holes, get packed in. So, but we are working on that as quick as we can. Our grass cutting, we've got no issues with tractors at this moment with what we're running. Everything's been running pretty good. It's just this rain's been putting us really behind. The grass is growing before we can make loops. So we're working as hard as we can with these clippers, getting these roads cut.
Talk to us
I have a
about.
question.
Go ahead, Mr. Brewer.
I know I had a chance to go to both of the locations just to see if our bathrooms were up to par at both of the locations in the road department. But while I was there, I had a chance to talk to Mr. Norris along with the employees about the grass cutting. And as we can see all over Washington County, it is really, really bad. And I asked, how can we move farther? And I look at our county compared to other counties. Right now, we have 6 moors in the northern part and in the southern part. And if we keep going that route, we won't ever catch up because you just got 3 moors all in the northern part of the county. And the concern is that in other counties, most of them have about 4 to 5 tractors in each supervisor district. And I asked him, would it make a big difference if we got 2 more tractors on the northern part and the southern part, meaning we would be moving 5 tractors cutting grass? And what was your response?
Definitely more tractors does mean more area covered. It does.
And so the concern is where we are now, by the time you finish with the 3 we have, by the time you complete in a certain area, when they come back, the grass is back extremely high again. Because we do have the use tax dollars, and just the committee brought it to their attention that we're gonna use equipment with the use tax dollars. This would be so ideal to get 4 new tractors, put them on both ends so we can start addressing the issue of grass cutting here in Washington County. We got the dollars, and so the concern is that we move forward and go ahead on and get these tractors.
Clay, what's the issue with keeping up with the grass cutting?
The rain putting us behind.
Yeah,
Just
we don't
after a
have
few
enough.
days of rain, you had to hold up before you can get back out and cut.
So the rain is your problem?
That's it. The
What-
rain,
So-
and to
So-
be honest with you, yes, more tractors do mean you can cut more grass. That's not a no-brainer. But the rain is really putting you behind on a lot of this.
Because I noticed before we started to get all the rain, when you on the first cut, you had a system in place, I would think,
We're still on it, haven't changed.
that took you from one end of the county with this system you were working
Yep.
to the other end of the county and rotate, come back
But
around.
we're still on it, Nothing's changed. Like I said, these rains every few days is really what's been killing us.
And but you did a good job, and I said, man, these blades must be extremely sharp because everything is cut
Yep.
and not sprouts or things left behind.
Yep.
But right now, you say the reason we're in the state that we're in is because of the rain, not because you're not able to cut.
Right. It's not because we don't have any tractors running. These rains are putting you behind.
Okay. Go ahead, and I guess
Miss-
with the equipment committee, go ahead and put these numbers together for the new equipment.
Okay, I just want to just go back. It hadn't been just this year. Last year we talked about it, and year before that we talked about the grass being high. The reality of it is we do not have enough tractors in Washington County going around cutting grass. Because when I just look at my district and I ride around, by the time you make it to Elizabeth or down in your area, the grass is extremely high all over. Yes, we are having rain, but this is not a new problem. I brought this up to this board almost every year. Now we actually have the dollars. I think we need to move forward and get tractors so we can keep the grass cut. When I go into other counties and I see how their grass is cut and I see what they're doing, I'm really embarrassed, especially when I look at Washington County next to Sunflower County at the county lines, and their grass is cut and our grass is high. It is very embarrassing. So we actually do have the dollars, so I would like for us to really move forward and think about how do we keep the grass cut down in Washington County. And 3 on the northern part and 3 on the southern part is not the answer. We've seen it happen over the last 6 years. It has not improved. So if we have the dollars, why don't we move forward and get the tractors so it can be more efficient on cutting grass and reduce mosquitoes and water in our communities?
Okay, Clay, so if you would go ahead and put the numbers together for the
Will
equipment that's
do.
been recommended,
Will do.
and the equipment committee, Supervisor Gordon, Supervisor Benson, and come back to the board also in that, including activity for a spray program like we talked about.
Okay.
To
We're
kind of
pretty.
keep this grass cut back. Yes, sir.
If one of those tractors are cutting, how much grass as far as miles of grass you think they'd cut within an hour's time?
In an hour's time. That's really just gonna depend on how many swats down the side of the road it takes to cut that
Just a
mile.
guess.
A single swat down the side of a road, maybe take about 15, 20 minutes to make a mile, maybe 30 minutes to make a mile at the most.
Well, and I'm not against doing that, but here's what, and I know you're new at this and you're getting things organized, but what time do those guys start to work?
Soon as they get there at 7 o'clock, we've got them out the gate. We bring those tractors in on Friday. We do the Friday service, wash them off, get them greased Friday before we go home. We leave them on the roadside where they stop in the afternoons. In the morning, Jamie takes them to their mowers and they start.
And they start at 7 o'clock?
About 7:30.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. I don't have a problem with if we need them to add them, but I do see tractors this morning I was on Olena Road at 8:30, and they were just coming off from the barn at 8:30. So in my mind, you got 2 tractors if they can cover, you know, that many miles in an hour, so that's times 2.
Right.
And if we're wasting an hour getting out and getting it going, which again, I know that you're just trying to get the system, but make sure that we're on top of that, your assistant, you know,
Okay.
that people are getting out there.
Right.
And if we need that, I have no problem adding that, you know, because, you know, I want everything to look good, but I know the rain's been holding us up too.
Right.
But I just sometimes I don't think, again, that we're utilizing the time that, you know, that's needed on some of this. I just see a lot of downtime, and that may have been just a one-time deal, but I doubt it. But just make sure that we're following up with that.
Right,
And again, I know you're still getting your feet under you, trying to get everything organized, and this is really the first summer that you've had cutting grass. So if you would, just kind of check on that.
We will.
Okay.
We'll stay on it, be as efficient as we can with it. We also, on a spray system, we've got a 250-gallon sprayer that goes behind our spare tractor that we're going to start implementing a spray system behind these clippers, trying to
Now-
get some grass spray behind them.
Just
Well-
as they go by? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jerry?
yeah.
Okay. Jerry, I'm sorry.
On the spray.
Mhm.
Down these bridges,
Mhm.
sign, the spray, but we need this over there.
Right.
Because around the bridge, that grass was there, but I still couldn't see the bridge.
Right.
So we just need to cut around the bridge, but then we can spray it so it won't come back.
Well, this tractor sprayer is not going to be one of those where it's able to get around like the corner of the bridges. It's going to be more side of the road, straight shots, you know, going. We're still going to have to do the spraying by hand around the bridge and around signs and do the weed eating still. We're still going to have to do that.
Okay.
I have another question. Before the equipment goes out every morning, do we do an assessment to make sure it has water, oil, that type of stuff?
We
in
do it every morning.
Okay.
We do fuel. If they need to be blowed out, we blow them out. The oil's checked in them. All the fluids are checked in them. They come in on Friday about an hour early. They wash all the grass off the decks. They grease the PTOs on everything. Our mechanic takes a quick look at them, make sure there's no big issues. But we do have an implement in place every morning. We got sheets our guys fill out for every equipment we own. They check everything. It's signed by them. It's given to the foreman. It's given to the shop mechanic and put in a file with that piece of equipment.
So that takes a little time before they leave out the yard.
Yes, but some of the equipment, Monday through Thursday, we leave out on the roads. We try not to leave a lot out on the roads over the weekend because in the past we've seen stole batteries, you know, vandalized equipment. We try to bring it in on the weekends. Yes, it takes a few minutes in the morning times to
Right.
look over everything and get it going.
And that's one of my biggest concerns, that we are taking time to, you know, just do the maintenance daily, you know.
Oh, we definitely are. Last year, we had a big issue with some tractors we were running. They just, every day they were being brought back, it was just something wrong with them. Those tractors have been running nonstop, no issues with them. So I think we're on the right page with those tractors, keeping them maintenance up.
Okay. Any other questions for road manager?
You'll be back next meeting on, about some tractors?
I can be here next
Thank you.
meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
Planning department. How you doing, Ms. Redmond?
All right, how are you all?
Good, good.
I just have the April monthly report.
Okay. Anything special you want to share with us on your report?
No, just what I collected for April.
Go ahead.
For the month of April, we collected $1,112.50. And the year to date is $9,588.75. And the permits collected for April was 23, and the year to date was 112. Is
Right.
112. And that's all I have
Any questions?
today
You
Ms.
said
Redmond?
23 permits,
for April.
April, okay.
Uh-huh.
So people do a lot of building?
We have two. I think we have two new buildings, well, homes anyway, coming up.
Okay. Anything you need from us, Ms. Redmond? Anything you need from us?
No.
All right.
not today.
Appreciate you here.
All right, thank you.
Justice Court Clerk? How you doing, Ms. Lewis? Ms. Lewis, have a copy of your report up here? Yep. Here it is.
And good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right.
Anything you want to share with us?
No, sir.
Anything you need from us? You good?
Good.
Any questions for Ms. Lewis on the Justice Court report?
Lord.
Ms. Larry? I got close. Bad. All right, Ms. Larry, we appreciate you. If you need us, let us know.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Mr. Gales. Mr. Gales, how you doing? We got your report. Anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I have a request this morning.
All right, Mr. Gales.
I have a request this morning for
Thank you, sir.
travel and training for 13 July through 19 July, annual national conference. It's in Louisville, Kentucky.
13th.
Through the
Any
Right.
questions, comments?
So moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Did we get a number of how much it's gonna
It's
cost?
on Mrs.
Yes.
It is on that?
It's on Mrs.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you.
and I have
What's her name?
inside
Carter's
Carter.
report.
inside of it, I'm gonna give the invoice for to be paid for the conference. All right.
All right,
That's
thank you,
all I
Ms. Gales.
All right. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Jeremy Smith. How you doing, sir?
I got two things this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right. Well, we run into a problem with the elevators out there in the courthouse. We only can get one company to come down and give us a quote, because one company bagged out, said that they've got quotes before, but they never get work, and then one company from Ridley won't come down. So I only got a chance to get one quote for to get the elevator serviced and repaired.
Do we have it?
Yes.
How much?
Think you need to wait on the attorney to?
Yeah, but we
comment on
got
that?
one, and let me do this for you all.
We don't got one, we gotta move on and get it fixed.
Yeah, we gotta have that fixed. That keeps us in compliance with our ADA requirements. Mr. Griffin, Jeremy, explain to the attorney what you got going with the estimates for the elevator
The
repair.
elevator. We only get one company that come down to give us a quote. One company bagged out, said they was give quotes, but they never get the work, and then one company wouldn't come down.
It must be her.
Question,
Yes,
okay,
because me and Ms. Carter been in correspondence with him.
then if he makes a request, and they said no, that's sufficient.
All right,
What's the quota, ma'am?
what's your recommendation, Mr. Smith?
I recommend we go with Mid-South.
Give us
how
a number,
much?
Ms. Smith.
Okay, let me grab it right quick. $64,638.
Some move,
I
we
got a
go with
motion?
the only, quote.
Yeah, I got it. I'll print it off and get it. Yes, ma'am, it's on my.
Yeah, no, can't do it like that. You gotta send it to Ray, you have to have it in paper.
Okay, girl.
Take care of that in the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
I got a motion and a
I
second.
guess so.
I got a question? Go ahead, Lee.
Oh,
Come on, Lee.
what is that doing now? Is that replacing, repairing, replacing the
That's gonna be
elevator?
replacing the shaft underground. They
Okay.
say it was been here since the elevator was implemented in the, when the courthouse was built, so it's overdue, he said.
Gotcha.
Griffin.
Mr. President, we need the minutes to reflect, these quotes that were, requested, and that they declined to, submit a quote
Yes.
at the request of the,
That needs to be reflected in the minutes.
yes,
All right,
all that needs to be placed in the minutes.
Gotcha.
all right. I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Ms. Smith, keep us posted. To me, it's an emergent situation, Mr. Griffin. We need to get it going.
All right.
Anything else?
Yes, the next thing, last time I was here and they told I gotta get quotes for the doors over at the Harvey Street for the Sheriff's Depot over there, and I got those two quotes for the doors.
Okay.
All right. The first door is gonna be from Grenada Overhead Doors. It'll be $24,845. All right, the second quote. Okay, and the second quote's gonna be from Greenville Doors, will be $26,286.17.
I
You
move
only
we go with the lowest.
got a motion for the lowest
Second.
and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead.
And the last thing, we had to do emergency work out at the Regional Correction Facilities Friday. The lift station had went out, and I think they said it was caused by people throwing rags and stuff in the flushing down the toilet. So we had to. It would end up being like $600-800 for work. So I just called
Where
to get
was
approval
this?
pay at the jail, the Regional Correction Facility.
How
Lift
can we
station.
stop that? People throwing rags, how can we stop that?
You
I mean,
can't-
if it happened
you
once,
can't.
it'll happen again.
You can't. You can stop the system up, but that's another conversation. We might have, you can put something in there that'll cut them up, but You don't wanna have that conversation right now.
I move
Oh.
that we pay the invoice for
We got a motion?
$1,600.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Smith?
No, this all.
I have something,
Okay.
Mrs. Smith. Well, the board, you know, I told you I was, after I got a call from the road department about the bathrooms, I did go to the other. So what is the play to keep both bathrooms up to par for the road department down in Longwood and that main area? Would somebody from his department be keeping those bathrooms up to par?
They have a person that should be doing the cleaning. It's a more matter of managing that person, as you ask,
I'm saying, who has the person?
the road manager.
Okay. But apparently he's not aware of it.
Okay, we've had that conversation with him. Jeremy met with him last week, week before last.
So at both, because I went to both of them and looked in them, and
I
they were
just
not.
went to the one out here.
Well,
I
let me-
mean,
Go
like-
to Longwood.
Yeah, we need to do Longwood as well, because we got employees out there as well. And everybody should be able to go into a clean bathroom.
And since you brought that up, what we've done is asked Mr. Smith to get together and come and present to this board some options around improvements with the facilities out there. And, well, we'll look at both places, but right now we're looking at the main department. And, of course, we have male and female. We have to change the accommodations. We got to make appropriate accommodations for all employees. And like Ms. Brooks saying, this thing has been rocking on way too long, and we have to do some improvements. So as soon as you can, Mr. Smith, go ahead and put some plans together, and we'll come back
We
and,
got with, Mr.
you got them now?
We waiting on, he just working on them now.
All right, well, when y'all get them together, come back and give us a number. We'll take a look at Longwood as well.
Okay.
Did you wanna do the other, we did look at the one on Raceway, are there other?
Well, the one down in Longwood is basically touch
a
up, clean
trailer.
up, fixing up. That's what that one is. This one here, we have to make modifications. It's going to take some additions, some building gonna have to be done. So that's a little bit more intensive on Westway Road. Okay, since you're standing there, Jeremy, Ms. Carter, no Joel's not here, but the exercise court that we had talked about, did you want to do a presentation on the overhead, or how do you want to handle this morning? What do you have, anything for the board? All right, let me share something with you all. And what we do, we need permission from this board to go further. Now, Joel Wells, along with myself and Ms. Carter, we have been talking with an organization that work with fitness courts around America. And we submitted 3 locations for fitness court. It's an outdoor fitness court. And people will have an opportunity to come out and work, exercise, and use not the stationary devices that are there. And the commitment is a little under $200,000, but you have a grant opportunity, and I think that's only like $30,000. But in order for us to move to the next step, we need permission from this board. Now, the sites that we recommended were the Convention Center grounds, right there where the splash pad is in that area, Warfield Point Park, which periodically goes underwater, and Hardy Park. They did an analysis on all 3 locations, and they recommended if we were to make the investment, do something with the exercise court, that the Convention Center grounds would be the appropriate place to put it. And so in order to move to the next step, we need permission from this board to go ahead and really engage and talk about presentations to you all, bringing you up to speed. What we're gonna do now is get something to each and every email, so you can read it. It'll have a 3-minute video that you'll be able to view and see, what it's all about. But in order to continue to have the conversation, we actually need just board approval. And we'll give them a copy of our minutes through a resolution, or just a resolution, say we can engage and move forward with the conversations with Fitness Courts of America. It's a fitness company, but it's something that you want to get Washington County involved in. There are a couple of other counties within the state of Mississippi that are involved as well. And one county, I'm pretty sure, has already got their project underway. So what we need now is, permission to move forward. And at the next meeting, everybody will be up to speed. Of course, so like I said, on your email, you will have a 30-second video and all types of information that'll be shared with you.
I have a question, Mr.
Hey.
President. Okay, so the 3 locations, are those the 3 locations you're finalizing?
We gave 3 locations.
Okay.
and what it had certain criteria. And they would only pick one
Okay.
this time. But yes, there are opportunities for more.
I
Like
wa-
if you want to do one
I
in
want-
Hollandale, Leland, or different places, they'll take that recommendation. They'll take a look at it. You know, the accessibility, the traffic on it, that kind of thing, you know, and it's a level of security around it.
My only, because I think it's wonderful that you made that contact, but I want to make sure you look at Elizabeth next time. That's a big open park that's owned by the county. There's a lot of space.
All right, let me get you have the information. Keep in mind, it's about accessibility. A lot has to do with traffic. But we're gonna talk.
Okay.
And
you
we'll-
know, when you leave out
But
District 4, I get
what you do
concerned.
want to make sure when you make these submittals that they meet the basic requirements that are put forth
I hear you.
by this organization.
Again, when I don't hear anything in District
Okay.
4, I am concerned.
All right.
All right.
If the board will give us permission, I need a motion to
So
proceed
moved.
Second.
and a second. Any other questions?
So the location right now is the convention center. That's the first location, is convention
Let
center.
me, yeah, Jerry. You have what the county does. All right, we are well aware that the county has, but okay, we got you. I got a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Point of information, so
Come
the
on with it.
grading's for $30,000?
That's all, yeah.
And, okay, y'all gonna send us a video of what it looks like?
Oh, yeah, we'll get that to you on your email today. Please look today if you don't have it. Give myself and Ms. Carter a shout, and we'll make sure you have all the information you need so we can have another in-depth conversation. Next meeting, what we might like to do, if we can, is bring them in on a Zoom.
The reason why I asked, you know, some of us doing parks and with our ARPA dollars, and it may be a piece that we may be able to use on some of our parks in our respective areas.
All right, let's take a look, because it just doesn't say you can only do one, but their commitment is only to 30,000, but, you know, there are certain requirements. All right, got a motion and a second. If there are no other questions, all in favor, show by a sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And let me be clear. Myself and Ms. Carter are working with Joel, but as Jeremy can tell you, once we get it going on, this will fall with building and grounds. It won't stay with the board. Everybody good? Anything else, Jeremy?
I've got one thing for him.
Come on.
What about the wall you was having some problem with on the Harvey Street building?
Oh, we had the road department come out and grade. So we come up with a levee system, and we think besides the panels that the water was running down, we think we found out why the water was getting in the building. So we graded that and we built it up. So we're gonna try that the
Probably
next
know
rain
this
and
week
see
then,
what we
yeah.
got. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Smith?
No, that's it for me.
Hey, man, we appreciate you.
All right, thank you. I'll bring
Dr.
it
Wu.
back to you.
How you doing, sir? Is Mark here? You know what I did, Dr. Wu? Come on up. We're gonna get you. I gotta get Miss Moore. I see her back there now. I'm sorry, Miss Moore. I'm gonna come right back.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, I was, get all this proposal here. Yeah, I was here last meeting was talk about we gonna upgrading like tax. We got tax map GIS upgrading as a county for countywide GIS. That way we can apply for the all the departments like the street zoning. I'm just talking zoning and also like 911. You know, yeah, and that's everybody using the GIS. You know, like we've been talking all day long about the events situation in the county. You don't need to look at the map anymore. All you have to on your fingertip, you know, from your cell phone. Because the reason we look at the Google map, you know, we don't have a local information.
Wow.
So that's why we're gonna have all local information instant updating, like street, property, school zones, voting district, you know, flood, water flood plan, you know, like we talk about drainage system, you can see. So that's what
Okay.
that's the whole proposal.
All right.
I like
Yep.
that. So the drain, what about your, when you had to call the DN to do, will they have that in as well?
Yeah, you can like
Eight, nine,
Dig-
eight,
899 something dig
811.
before dig call before dig or something dig before you
Call before you dig, yeah.
Yeah, call. Yes, you can integrate with.
Where'd Mark go?
Mark's here.
Yeah. Dr. Wu, I see the initial investment is 18,000,
Right.
and you're requiring a monthly fee of 800.
Yes.
I want the board to clearly understand that.
Yeah.
Obviously, since Mr. Seard is not here, we'll be taking that out of his budget,
Yeah.
since he's not here. Yeah. Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry, I was talking to the board attorney.
Oh. Would you talk to us about the benefits?
Sure. Excuse me. So we already have a electronic mapping system. So what he's looking to do, he's looking to add to it. He's looking to add to it things such as school districting layers, voting precinct layers, fire district layers, county zoning layers. All this information is useful information, not only to my office, but to the planning department as well, and to the general public, because from time to time, we have had school districts come in making requests as to what and where exactly is their school district lines. And so we've had to go into action trying to determine that information for them, but that's not information that we necessarily have on hand.
Okay.
But it is very useful information that we're looking to add.
So school board candidates, any
All
other
of that.
electrical officials, they want to look up their districts and whatever, this is making available. This-
Yes, yes, sir.
They can,
Yes, sir.
and the 18,000 initial fee,
For initial fee. Yeah.
yeah, let me get from Mark. Where is that coming from?
I imagine it would come from our budget if we had it in our budget, but
If, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the $800 a month fee?
hopefully we can divide that amongst the various offices.
That
that
means
we
general
need.
fund, right?
Yes, yes.
Miss- Come on, Ms. Cuthbert.
Okay, so he didn't put 811, that is very much needed, you know, to be added on here.
Yeah, when we got contract.
So we'll know
Yeah.
where to dig, you know, I think this is ideal. Now, will this be reaching out to the municipalities? Because the municipalities are in the county, or would they have to outsource with you guys?
We are already doing the green, City Greenville is the, I think the lady is Mrs. Williams, right?
Mr. Carlin Williams, yes.
Yeah. She told me when we get approved by board, they gonna follow up, add on, you know, eventually add on their layers, like a lot of water, sewer, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, theirs a little different from ours.
Okay, I just want to know, so I'll turn this over to the city of Cleveland, because it's something I know they much need in this city.
Keep in mind that things that'll be sensitive or needed within the city limits of Leland is an additional layer.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this, I'm talking about, I'm just gonna change him over to Cleveland.
I got you. He make that, okay. Now, that's a commitment of $800 a month, board, and an $18,000 initial setup or fee. What's the pleasure?
So moved.
I got a motion? Got a second, Mr. Attorney?
How long was the contract?
How long is gonna finish that for you?
The contract,
The contract, you said $1,800 per month, how long?
1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or 20
You can
years?
set up the what the way you want to, most comfortable from your legal status.
The best I'm willing to do, I'd hate to try to tie another board up with something with, you want to, that's short.
You got 2.5 years on your term.
I mean, just so you can get it into a cycle. So every board get an opportunity to review.
That's right.
How long will it take you to get it set?
So we got,
Initial.
go through,
Initial.
that way, cause we gonna cycle out of here in 3 years, the new board got a chance to update.
So,
All right, 3 years be good.
Mr. Will, you were saying something?
No, that's fine. I was talk about this.
All right, the attorney, y'all get together, we're gonna do a 3-year contract,
Okay,
and subject to review after each board term,
okay.
and each board can make their own mind up. Is that okay, board?
Yeah.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Will.
Thank you.
All righty. Ms. Moore. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Hey,
Good
now.
morning.
Thank you for helping me out, Ms. Moore, because I was gone.
Okay, everyone has a copy of my board report for last month.
Make sure it's on. It's still green? All right. Anything you want to share with us, Ms. Moore?
No.
You got
that's
your
it.
report? You good?
I'm good.
Anything you need from us?
No.
All right, boys, if you have any issues in your district and everything, don't hesitate to give Ms. Moore a call. Give me an update as where we are on, just say, Highway 1 North.
Highway 1 North. I
Yeah.
just talked to Miss Larry about it,
Okay,
and she's gonna check the court date
okay.
for her.
Get a chance to run by there and you'll see something that might amuse you. All right, if there are no other questions, Ms. Moore, we appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Christian Hill?
Mr. President,
hey,
I'm
now.
gonna go back. Do we have an ordinance set up, like when people are doing building on their property, they just get a dumpster? Cause I'm seeing more and more now, people just building and tearing up houses and they just throwing it on the ground in the county. Do we have an ordinance to address
You
that?
got, it's part of the permit process. We have to get, they're out of here now.
Okay,
I
we
couldn't- I would
need to
tell
go
you.
back and look at that, cause it's getting out of hand now.
I know of a couple places in my district that do have dumpsters. All right. It's Christian Hill, lead. Hey, come on, Miss.
Update for 1888 Highway 1 North.
This is Scott Phillips.
Say that again.
Have an update.
On what?
Property has been sold.
Which property is that?
1888 Highway 1 North.
Go ahead.
We just discussed.
Go ahead.
The owners of that property lost it at a tax sale. I confirmed the tax sale in the new purchaser. The purchaser has now sold it to my client. That property has blocked off the driveway to keep the occupants from coming back on.
That's the amusement.
And
piece
he is about to clean that property up.
How many days does he need? Because
Well-
keep in mind, right now, it's in the process of bringing the prior owner to court and that kind of thing. We understand that a new purchaser has it.
Yeah, she doesn't have it anymore. He has a dumpster out there. He had it delivered, I think, Friday. He's blocked off the entrance with telephone poles and a sign, no
Oh, yeah.
trespassing, so forth.
Oh, yeah.
It's about to happen.
All right, so how much time does he need?
I hadn't talked to him about how much time, but he's
Have
gonna
him get with Ms. Moore, put them together if you would, and if he needs 90 days or whatever it is, she'll
Yeah,
communicate that to
yeah,
the
it's
board.
gonna happen. Trust me,
All
it's
right.
gonna happen.
If you would work with her, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, sure.
All right. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna go to the next one. Ms. Stubbs, Cedric Davis, requesting permission to serve alcoholic. Where's Christian Hill? Christian Hill?
You can call him 2 times. He's here, I guess.
Christian Hill?
He's not here. You can call him already.
Okay, what they're requesting is to waive the fees for a back-to-school rally August 1st, the Washington County Convention Center. Now, I guess they've made arrangements with the convention center, Christian Hill has, and they're actually asking for fees to be waived for a back-to-school event.
Yeah, but they're not charging, are they?
That's what they're waiving the fee. That's what they're charging unless this board waive the fees.
No, I'm talking about they not charging people to come.
Oh, I hate that. That doesn't answer the question. Would you be more comfortable?
Well,
'Cause you do
I'll
have
move
time.
I'll move forward the week.
Oh, no, you got, it's not till August 1st.
Okay.
It's not till August 1st. What's your pleasure?
I mean, we can do it. I mean, I don't have a problem waiving as long as he's not charging a fee for it.
And
to
that's the
people.
norm, as long as they're not charging. I can't answer that one now.
Well, that's in my motion.
All right, Ms. Carter, make sure I verify. Remind me, double check that one. All right, pending verification of fees, making sure that it is a free event to the public. Any other questions? I got a motion and a second, Don. Do I have a motion and a second?
I made the motion.
And a second? I'm gonna second it. Thank you, Jerry. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, but I'll verify that it is a event that's free to the public. All right, Stubbs and Mr. Davis. Oh, here they go. They request permission to serve alcoholic beverages for a wedding reception at the Hollandale Multiplex, October 18th, 2025.
Y'all getting married.
Yes, sir.
Praise the Lord. saints.
Y'all get married. Congratulations.
So moved.
I got a motion to approve and a second from Supervisor Redmond. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed, motion carries. I got one nay. Y'all, he always does. Make sure you do the proper documentation, you have your proper, and contact the security to make sure you're good. Amen. Good luck to you all. You being recorded.
You're not doing it.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
All right, consider tax exemption, community foundation, application for community foundations for tax exemption.
Yes.
Come on up.
Good morning.
Amen.
My name is
Your
Scott-
name is?
Scott Phillips,
Yep.
Attorney representing the Community Foundation of Washington County. Today I have the executive director with me along with chairman of the board and another board member. You may recall we were here back in late March because of a tax sale that had occurred for 2022 taxes. The board adopted a procedure by which taxpayers can apply for tax exemption. We have done that. I put a copy, I hope, for every board member. And so we're here today to apply for tax exemption on the basis that the Community Foundation is a charitable society. Under the statute and Attorney General opinions which have governed this is a fact finding that is in the discretion of this board as the local governing authority. The Community Foundation is a nonprofit corporation. I understand all nonprofits are not necessarily entitled to tax exemptions. They have to meet the test of whether they're a charitable society, and oddly enough, the statute doesn't define what a charitable society is, and it's up to this board to determine what a charitable society is. The Community Foundation, the more I learn about it, the more I'm convinced that if it is not a charitable society or charitable organization, there is no such thing. In my application, I hope you've read it, there are certain things I've listed that are among the things that the Community Foundation does.
What are those things, Mr. Phillips?
Well, they created a fund to assist organizations to improve food access in Washington County.
When you say they created a fund,
Yes.
how'd they create the fund?
They act as a physical intermediary, so that other entities that, whether they establish a grant or an endowment, the Community Foundation is the entity which administers the funds for those charitable purposes.
Do they administer at a fee?
They do administer it at a small fee, but that does not mean it is not a charitable organization.
But they do receive a fee.
They do receive a fee,
Okay.
yes. But the Supreme Court has said just because they receive a fee does not disqualify them from charitable status. That's the Mississippi Supreme Court, yes.
But, Mr. Phillips, the Supreme Court has also said that if these are activities that the public, that other private organizations can perform, then they are essentially proprietary functions of the organization. And as such, they would not
Oh, my
qualify
God.
because they are in competition. For instance, this organization appears to be in competition with banks and other similar organizations by managing these funds
So-
and acting as an intermediary of funds. For instance, you may want to create a trust, which it says they do create a trust, and then they manage that trust and hold these funds similar to a bank for a fee.
No, because a bank's a profit entity, and the Community Foundation is a nonprofit entity. A nonprofit meaning no profit inures to the members of the entity. So that there's a huge difference.
Let me ask you this question, because, with respect to Community Foundation, the statute says that the property is what's exempt and not the organization. That's what the statute says.
And we're here
The
for
law
property
says-
tax exemption, yes.
And because of that, it has to be used exclusively. The property does exclusively for charitable purpose, correct? Now, watch this.
I hadn't seen a Supreme Court opinion that says
There
that.
are opinions on it. It has to be used exclusively. The statute says it has to be used exclusively for charitable purposes.
Well,
Okay, all right. Now, the problem is, with respect to this one, it is not being used exclusively for charitable purposes. There are leases, and there have been leases on this property since 2022. And the Supreme Court has said, if you lease the property.
The Supreme Court has not
Let me
said
finish.
that.
Yes, sir. I have,
So what leases are there?
there was a lease with Mr. Reed, and there was a lease with the United Way on this property.
May I clarify, please?
Please.
This property was Clark Reed Joseph for probably all of our lives. He sold the property to the community foundation and wanted to maintain an office. They charged him a little, $600 a month in a, how many square feet building is that?
The part that he replaced.
No, the building as a whole.
I'm sorry, I don't know the square footage.
4,000 or 5,000.
It's a huge building.
It's a huge building. They leased him one little suite. And he came in every day. He didn't do anything for profit. Clark came in and did what Carl did.
When they leased it, it says it has to be, all of the property has to be used for charity, not, and you can't lease it. There's a Supreme Court case, an old case, Ridge Large case, which what the court held that property belonging to a charitable society, if leased for profit, is taxable. And the Attorney General said that if any portion of it is leased, then it's taxable.
And of course, Mr. Reed died, so that lease is no
Y'all
longer.
leave Mr. Reed out.
I understand.
Let me finish.
There's an existing lease now to the United Way, another charitable organization.
They don't pay, do they?
They pay $500 to assist with the cost of utilities.
You understand the dilemma that this county is in. This county has denied tax exemptions to other organizations that lease their charitable property, okay? Number one. Number two, there is a problem with this one because there's a statute that will preclude this board from even granting any relief in 2022. That's Mississippi Code annotated section 27-35-143, which holds that this board cannot alter, amend, or change the tax roll unless an application is submitted by the first Monday in August of the tax year.
Then, may I ask a question? Then why, sitting in this room, did you suggest that the community foundation go ahead and pay it, the tax sale which was about to mature, and that if this application was granted, the community foundation would be refunded? Why would you say that?
I'm glad you asked that question because, but for the fact that I made that recommendation, there was a substantial likelihood that the community foundation would lose this property to a third party. So it was my suggestion, because this was brought on us at the last minute, that community foundation pay that taxes, and if community foundation prevails and is granted tax exempt status, it can be refunded to them.
Okay, so it can be refunded if the application's granted.
Not under the law, because the board doesn't have jurisdiction to go back and change its tax rolls for 2022, not 2023, not 2024, because the time has expired. That's why, Mr. Phillips, all those applications for tax exempt status are submitted so quickly so that these organizations can preserve that right, okay? There was no application submitted by Community Foundation for 2022, although they were granted tax exempt status and placed on the tax roll 2023. There was no application even then, or 2024. The first application is the one you submitted 2 or 3 weeks ago, okay?
Which
So-
was pursuant to the board order that was entered 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did exactly what you told us to do.
This board did not grant you tax exempt status.
I understand
That's the
that.
point.
I understand
The board
that.
took it
Attorney might have to
under, the board took it under advised and postponed consideration until we saw what the law was. Because y'all came in at the last minute making this request.
All right.
The law says that the board should not even be considered this for those years that nothing was done by the taxpayer, okay?
Scott, you have anybody else want to speak? Do you?
Sure, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Darla Heron, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation. At the point that we came in March, I don't remember the date of that.
Second.
Yes, I had just received that notice, and to be honest, it didn't even come to our address. It went to somebody else's address that happened to call me and tell me that we were about to lose our property. It went to Bill Baird's office on Main. I don't know the physical address. Why it went to a different address that wasn't ours, I have no idea. But that was the first time I was aware about this issue. And immediately we took action. We did do exactly what Mr. Griffin suggested. And I did get it on record at that time that we were paying under protest, and that if this board decided to let us retain our exempt status, that we would get that money returned.
Okay. Let me do this. You know, that's a completely separate issue from the request we have before us today, and we do understand.
What is the official request?
The request today is to enforce our fully instated tax exempt status
Ad valorem tax.
on ad valorem.
I got a couple of questions. I was in Tupelo, and I ran into their community foundation spoke to us. So my first question is, are y'all a part of the Mississippi, what is it called, the Mississippi,
Are you
Community
talking about
Foundation?
Create Foundation?
Who?
Create?
I'm not. Yeah, Create. So are y'all a part of the same organization, the Mississippi Community Foundation? Are y'all one of the?
We're not, so the answer is there are 8 community foundations
Right.
within the state. There are also community foundations all over the country. We are not a part of any of the other ones, but we are all kind of modeled after one another.
So are y'all one of the 8s? Because actually, no, they do have one.
Yes.
So you're the one for the Delta.
Well, we're Washington Community, the
Well, on the
Community Foundation of
website-
Washington County.
On the website for the state, they do have one, but it has more than Washington County. It has like 4 or 5 counties that's a part of it on the community the state's community foundation website. So I'm just trying to figure out, are y'all them or this another group?
This is a separate.
We're yes, we're not.
Affiliation, something.
Yeah, there's a community foundation for Mississippi that's based in Jackson,
Right.
and they cover, I believe, 19 counties of the state.
No, that identifies.
There are
Okay.
other community foundations that might cover some areas. There might be a lap over. There's no specific outlined area that a community foundation can cover.
So are y'all the community foundation of Washington County?
Correct.
Okay, well, y'all on a website with the state, and it says that you all, and they got it mapped up by colors, that y'all don't, not only I'm just trying to get an understanding. Y'all target like 3 counties. It's Washington, Sharkey,
And Humphreys.
Oh, so this is
We
y'all.
primarily,
Okay.
we primarily cover Washington County, but we have been doing work in Humphreys and Sharkey, specifically with the Rolling Fork disaster where we have been a part of rebuilding those homes over there.
Now, the other
If that's not charitable, I don't know what is.
No, I think it's charitable. Now, what else do y'all do besides, you know, y'all I know y'all helped out with Rolling Fork, but what do y'all do primarily in Washington County?
So on Friday, we awarded 48 scholarships to local, to county local high school students that total in excess of $50,000. We are right now in a grant cycle for the Food Access Improvement Fund, which is awarding money to food distribution nonprofits to fund their work that they do with distributing food.
All right, now,
That will award, I think, this year, 50,000. The past 2 years, it's awarded 80,000 to 8 recipients.
now
the
these funds,
location-
I'm sorry, Ms. Brooke, go ahead.
So the location we look to do the tax exempt, is this the location on Main Street?
Correct, 800 Main.
Okay, all right.
So now, you talked about the scholarships awards, the funding for, you know, food pantries. Where'd those funds come from?
They come from a variety of places. We have what we call funds. We have about 55 funds.
Okay. I'm familiar with the Mars contribution.
Yes, well, Mars, in this case, for the food access improvement, 3 entities got together with charitable funds wanting to do something about food improvement, to provide food to people who don't have enough food. So Mars Foods, Molina Healthcare, and the Delta Group got together and gave money. And so that's where the money's coming from for that.
If I were to give $50,000 to a similar event, and what would be the foundation's percentage of that 50,000?
You mean that we would collect?
Yeah.
So our business model is that we will take a minimum of $500 or 1% of the fund value, whichever is greater, because we have to fund the operation in order to exist for these charitable causes.
Okay, Leanne? Give me your name. Give us your name for the record. Give us your name for the record.
My
Give
name
it.
is Lisa Percy. I'm one of the founders of the Community Foundation. I've been on the board for many years. And I just wanted to say that the Community Foundation exists primarily to increase philanthropy, increase charity in Washington County. That is what all community foundations do. So we were the only city of our size in the state of Mississippi 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that did not have a community foundation. And I just didn't think that was right for Greenville. And so a bunch of mostly women got together and decided to create the community foundation. We do have funds that are funded by organizations, but in order to operate, we take a very small fee that does not cover all of our costs, so it's not a profit-making enterprise. But we do take a small fee to facilitate giving out money that otherwise would not be given out if we did not exist. In addition to that, over the years, we have, from the community, raised our own funds. So we have our own money and we have endowed funds that other people have put with us that we give away and have our own programming. So over the years, we have done things like we have funded for licensed daycare workers. We have given the daycares laptops, and we have paid for them to take the CDA course, which means they can get certified as a child development, so that our babies in our daycares are getting the best kind of instruction and care. We have also partnered with the CAP Center to revamp their website so that it's phone-friendly. They were not getting enough people to sign up for their classes. After we determined what the needs were, we funded the revamping of their website so people could go on their phones and easily sign up for classes, and it increased the enrollment by substantial percentages at the CAPS. We've also we've partnered with other downtown groups for to rehab facades of buildings. So it's not just these other funds. We have our own money. We give it away for educational purposes.
Yeah, I do facade grants as well.
Ma'am.
Facade grants. Okay.
That we partner with Greater Greenville Housing to do.
Will y'all be looking to go into Leland to help with facade grants?
We've done facade grants in Leland.
Okay, 'cause
Okay, all right, come on, let me,
So,
Lee,
I
you
mean,
good?
I just want y'all to have a full understanding of the many charitable purposes that we exist for,
Lee?
and that we do give away our own money, as well as facilitate
Okay.
funds that are established with us that would not exist if we didn't exist.
Okay, Lee?
Only thing I was gonna say is a lot of information. We got basically two lawyers saying two different things with a good argument both ways, and I do understand, but I have looked into this a little bit myself, and, you know, from everything I see, yeah, I would have to vote to grant the status. So that would be, and I usually don't go against our attorney saying anything like that, but that would be my motion to grant the status. So that'd be my motion.
I
I
second
got
it.
it. All right, Mr. Bush, you wanna say something?
I just had a second motion.
All right, got 2 seconds. What's wrong
Well,
with
only thing I would say
me-
is, other thing is, I know y'all do different things, but when I was in Tupelo, I can't think of theirs. Create, they're doing so much. I didn't realize the Community Foundation did so much, even with economic development.
We aspire to be that large,
But
and
I
very
will
large.
say that there's a gentleman, actually, he's from Leland, and he works with them as well. And they brought some things to my attention I didn't think about dealing with economic development. But I would connect him with you all, because there's certain things that we need to do that we can't always just put everything on the Economic Alliance that they're doing in their communities, but it's also they're working together. I just like to see that program here really grow, because it has done so much as helping bring industry into the Tupelo area. I was
got a-
really, really impressed.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? Go ahead, Mr. Griffin.
I just want to caution the board that we have denied tax exemptions to even a religious organization that was leasing this building, okay? And we're still in court on that very issue, all right? And yet, despite the Supreme Court's holding that if there is in fact a lease on property, you cannot grant an exemption, then it appears this board is about to do so. So I just want to point that out to the board.
Okay. Are you all, if you all would please go back and consider the lease you even have with the United Way? Excuse me, please. I gotta get on now. No.
No, I just want to point out 2022 is the big one because
Is the big what? That's not where we are now. Go ahead. Yes, you will. Yes, we
going
are.
forward, United Way, yes, but 2022, Mr. Reed had a lease on it as well. And they are asking for tax exemption for 2022, is that correct?
Not in the same.
We are asking for a refund of what I paid for 2022.
We'd like the board to take
In
that up
order
separate.
to do that, you would have to grant tax
Well,
exemption.
I just answered his question, that's,
You good, Scott?
am I
Lee?
good?
Just so we all understand, right now, we're taking the vote on just approving exemption status
Right,
right now.
that's the motion. That's
Not
what
the
I said.
reimbursement,
Yeah.
just moving forward.
Scott?
That's right.
Y'all good?
So this be two different things, okay.
You sure, Scott?
Yeah.
Everybody understand?
Okay, is for this year, is it for, what's the year?
This year. Now they finna receive it today, going forward. Any other questions? You good?
You don't carry the motion.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
So, hold on, just to make sure we're all clear now, was that two different motions that would now,
That was
as
one.
far as the requesting back from the previous years?
I
Okay.
guess the
Yeah,
thing
you
is just
can't do
making
that.
sure we legally can do it. That's my biggest concern.
We did exactly what he recommended.
Understand.
If I can just-
Hey, look, no. I gotta carry my meeting on. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk. We'll deal with this later. Thank you all. All right, number 16. Consider application of all these acronyms. Is anybody here to represent this group for taxes, ad valorem taxes? You
So-
are?
A, B, C, D, E, F,
I have
G.
the application.
What is this?
I'm not sure what the acronyms mean,
Is
but
it A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
it appears to be that way.
I know a
but
company like that for
it's,
real.
it's for the Trustmark Bank location,
Trust me, on the corner of Broadway and
corner of Broadway
Washington.
and Washington
Go
Avenue.
ahead. Come on.
I recommend we postpone. We just received that late last week,
Uh-huh.
and I'm looking at it, and I've spoken with the city of Greenville about it, and I recommend we postpone it until the next meeting to enable us to get enough information on it.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Abatement?
Sir?
Abatement?
Yes.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mark, we'll bring that, we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting. Thank you. Okay, Producers' Rights, the application, Mark, for ad valorem tax exemption.
Yes, sir. I have my position statement for Producers' Rights. Producers is requesting a $1,970,510 exemption on equipment that they have installed over last year. I have checked with Mr. Kent Lockwood, and all of this equipment is on site and is in use.
All right, any questions from the board? This is something that we
What's
normally.
the name of the equipment? What kind of equipment is it? I wanna know.
Did you make that motion?
No, I asked, what's the name of the equipment? What is the equipment called?
Ms. Brooks.
You gonna read it off?
I
there,
just
too?
wanna know what the equipment called. That's a nice way.
Second page.
Second page.
What's the kind of equipment?
What type
is
of
it?
equipment? I guess it's milling equipment. and
Second
different
page,
stuff.
Ms. Hansel.
Yeah, gotta be milling equipment and different rice processing stuff.
The description of the item, here, Mom.
So you have polishers without a motor, a Satake vertical rice whitener, CompuWay process scale, Premier grain indent cylinder, S. Mueller drag flight conveyor, Bratney 7-color sorter, Rotex screener, Bueller Laga cleaner, drag conveyors to replace North Tripper belt, elevator from whole hull bins, dryer Reskin rescreen is the name of it.
That brings back memories.
Okay.
Any other questions? My goodness. All right, questions, the motion's still on the floor. Did I have a motion?
I don't think you got a motion.
I don't have,
So moved.
can I get a second to approve? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Let me tell you what makes this easy for me. It's about the number of jobs, not just the initial investment and improvement of the process, but it's a number of jobs, that this particular company provides when they ask for an ad valorem. It makes it easy. And I think about the impact they have on the economy with I don't know exactly what their
How many jobs do they
payroll
provide?
is. I'm not sure how many people, but I'm sure it's well over
I think it's
100.
121, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Yeah, normally it's in the range of 125, that area, just like.
Do you know what they make an hour out there?
I've got the, let me see that once more, please. The total estimated annual payroll is $5,750,000.
So when somebody asks for an exemption, these are the questions we need to be asking. What does the taxpayers get back when we give these exemptions? And I'm going to ask you a question, Mr. Attorney, because now we seem to have everybody want these exemptions. When they ask for a tax exemption, do they clearly understand that's what provides the police protection and the fire protection? Are they offering to exempt out of that as well?
No. Are they asking?
I mean, because that's how we pay for it.
Well,
If they want the exemption, do they no longer want to pay for the safety and security that they feel from fire protection and police and sheriff
well,
protection?
they are paying some taxes, for instance.
They pay the school taxes.
School taxes.
Right.
Uh,
But for these services, they pay none.
There's nothing you do about it, Mr. President.
But are they asking to be exempt from that as well? So we can.
No, they're not asking to be directly,
from
but
the services.
indirectly, the effect of it is, they are exempt from having to pay for those services.
They just want the service and don't want to pay for it. That's where I'm going.
Well,
All right. I had.
for Producers' Rights,
Oh, no. Producer's good. That's a $5 million payroll.
Right.
That's an impact on the community.
Right.
Taxpayers are receiving something back.
Most of them did have impact, Mr. President. That's why we asked MEC the other day for similar information, and we're waiting on that information.
All right, Lee.
But and two, I understand what you're saying, but also understand, this is not unusual for county. All counties do it. So why, if we didn't do it, why wouldn't they move their jobs and their factory to other counties that will do it? So you got to say, it's one of those things, yes, we do give those tax exempt
But see, that's where you're missing it.
But I know, but other counties do it also.
They're not providing, some of the people are not providing jobs. These are the ones I'm talking about.
Right. But far as I know that far as a tax exemption on some things like this,
I'm not talking about
the
this
ones
one
the ones we get are the ones that are providing jobs.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't seen one that wasn't.
They're providing jobs.
Yeah.
Producers is doing exactly what you would
That's
want
right,
them to
yeah.
do. You know, but we have people who come before us wanting exemptions just because they bought a building.
Oh, you're talking about just exemptions on different
If they
certain
bought a
things.
building.
Okay. I got you. I understand. I
You
thought
know-
you was talking about on factories and stuff.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, it's really
Yes.
apples and oranges. The reason I'm saying
It
it, you
is.
can't compare a nonprofit organization that's giving back to the community versus a industry. I think everybody brings something to the table, but let's not try to say, oh, if you're not making money, you should not be exempt. I disagree with
Giving
that.
money.
No,
Giving
I'm
money.
just saying if you were an entity that's not bringing
All right.
money to the county. I mean,
I just had-
because we need everything in your county to make it work.
Okay. Mr. Griffin, I'm sorry.
There are those industries, and you can put conditions on them for that exemption.
We're not talking about
How many
industries. now.
jobs you gonna create?
We're talking
Job-
individuals.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about individuals. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
Individuals.
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about.
What individuals you talking
What
about?
individuals requesting tax exemption?
You'll see. And I don't know what's wrong with your mind. No, you're not. And I can't refresh your memory right now. But Mark, you good?
I'm gonna stand by.
All right. But it'll come back to you. All right, number 18. Consider ratification of the construction change order from state aid for project number SAP 76-7M. What in the world? What's that?
Okay, Mr. President and board members, good morning.
Hey.
You received a letter from the Office of State Aid in reference to
Hey.
a change order, a construction change order on this SAP 76-7, and it's a closeout document, and we just need you to ratify this document. And that's basically what needs to happen. It's a request that needs to be a part of the closeout document for this project.
That's something that was done by the previous engineering.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was done by the previous engineering.
So moved.
Got a motion? Come on, Mark.
I'm just gonna give a little bit of explanation, because
Will you
we
please?
did get that, when our district engineer was here, and what had happened with the last project, it exceeded the
We good? We good.
contract amount, and they submitted the final estimates, which were above the contract amount that we had. So state aid cannot go, or does not go above the contract amount unless you have the supplemental agreement that y'all received in a change order to get it to where it's adjusted correctly. And the reason, it should have probably been brought to the board, to at least make you aware of it, but when you sign these board orders for these projects, it gives the state aid engineer the authority to amend the contract up to a certain percentage, and that's what has happened. They got the final payment in, it was over what y'all had previously approved, and through the authority of the board order, to get this project closed out, Mr. James signed that and sent it to y'all for your approval. And I think that's what Mr. Richardson explained to you last week on the phone, if I'm not. That's correct.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's closeout
Right, we
paperwork.
talked about it.
Okay. Okay.
I got a motion. I need a second.
Second.
And any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's get some of the additions to the agenda. What was the addition, the first addition of? Walk of Faith. Walk of Faith. Some, got a representative from Walk of Faith? Introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, almost afternoon. I'm Darrell Johnson. I am the founder and pastor of Walk of Faith Covenant Church, and also the overseer of our operations within Bolivar County and this Mississippi Delta. I just, we have been going through a lot of different things. You all had a special call meeting to correct some mistakes that were made.
Okay, this is church is on number 1 North, MLK.
Exactly, one
Board-
of them.
Board familiar with this?
I am.
Yeah, we've been in this county since 1986.
Okay, and your request is to do what now?
For you all to continue the correction of the problem that was started in with the not naming our property belonging to the church, and it was named to Mallet Furniture.
Okay, I'm
And
good
they
with it
were
now.
being taxed. And so I think the only thing left on the table was a tax exemption.
All right, Mr. Seer.
And I've heard all the discussion of tax exempt, but this is a church coming and asking to correct that tax exempt.
Talk to us a little bit, Mr. Seer.
Well, the previous problem that he's making reference to has been corrected. We apologize for that happening, but that was a mistake made in our office that was corrected. Mr. Mallett donated the property, I believe, to you guys, and the name was not changed in my office,
Okay.
which ultimately affected what happened from 22 going forward. I think what he is requesting now is a tax exemption based upon the fact that his facility is a church. However, I have not been able to get a hold of Mr. Johnson or what's your name? Mr. Young to verify this information out. I spoke with Mr. Johnson late last week, and he said that he would be here to speak on his own behalf,
Good
and
enough.
that's why he's here.
All right, Pastor Johnson. Mr. Griffin.
So if I need to verify that we're a church, I can preach, because that's what I do.
Mr. Johnson, don't, please, you're gonna lose if you do
Preachers
that.
here, this is the pastor here in Greenville.
Because we're gonna, MLK, number 1, boom, that's Brooks.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. I've gone to their church through the years.
Come on with
Walk
it.
of Faith. So I like to make
What's
a
your
motion
pleasure?
they get their 501c3 status.
Get it.
What they need?
You want
Tax
the motion for the
Well, I
exemption?
would give them a tax exemption.
I
what
got a
they
motion.
requested.
Lee,
Do y'all have church there, I mean, weekly or at that facility?
Not at the facility right now. The tree fell on it.
I mean,
But
have
if
y'all in the
You
past?
go by the facility now, you will see that it's not looking like it used to look. We're working on that facility to.
I guess, so have y'all ever had services on a routine basis
People
weekly?
have been healed,
Yes.
delivered, and set free in that facility.
Yes.
I'm one of the pastors. This young man was a kid, and he came up
Just
in that
second the motion.
facility.
Second
This
the
is the
motion.
pastor of the church over here. So we're doing kingdom business with that.
I guess what I'm getting at, and I guess what it is, I mean, does it have to qualify, does it have, what, does it have?
the statute requires
what
what?
is-
The statute says that it has to be used as a church.
It's used as a church.
And it has to have a congregation. A congregation can be 1, 2 or more, so.
Yeah.
As long as they have the services there.
So we don't have a problem.
Kingdom building is another way of saying they had a service.
Yeah, but,
Come on.
so, Mark, have you ever, I mean, so you're saying that you cannot verify that they're having church there?
I had not been able to verify that. I spoke with Mr. Johnson late last week, and he said that he would come
To talk to us.
represent his office.
Okay, let me do this.
Me personally, I have not been able to verify.
Okay.
And
Now-
you went,
Go ahead, Lee, I'm
and
sorry.
you
Go
went by there on Sundays and stuff and to try to verify that?
Not necessarily.
They got a problem right there. They go out and give out everybody else stuff. Then it come to
Are you
church.
questioning whether we are a church
Pastor
or
Johnson,
what are you
Pastor
questioning?
Johnson, let me do this for you.
Yes, sir.
Let me run this meeting now, hold up.
Just second the
Okay,
motion.
I'm
This
sorry.
is not the offer of faith.
I was just trying
Oh,
to
what
I
you
make
got?
the motion.
All right, I
I
got a
got a
motion.
motion.
I got a motion on the floor, approval, and I need to get a second. We're gonna get a second. But Pastor, the question seems to be.
Reverend just said.
You have a second.
Well, I was gonna say, but the question seems to be whether there's service going on or not. And nobody can seem to verify it, but I'm gonna vote to grant it this morning. But what I'm going to do is, if there's not church service going on, we do have the opportunity to reconsider this.
Mr. President, Mr. Chair, Mr.
You're ahead of the game.
Can I-
Do you really want to
Hey,
do this?
sir.
You're ahead of the game. Do you really want to do this?
Okay.
I got a second and I got a motion to approve. But we're gonna do it.
May I offer this?
Yeah,
Uh,
before I carry this motion.
Yes, it is critical that we deal with the other properties similar situated in the county where no churches are.
No service.
No service is being provided on the property, many of them do not have buildings. So it's critical that we address all of this. But with respect to this individual, we have a representation from the pastor at this point that we have. That
Absolutely.
They have services there.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Well,
Absolutely. I got to, go ahead, Lee.
Well, I just want to make the fair vote. So I feel like I still didn't get the answer. Do y'all have weekly services there at that church, that facility on Highway 1, the facility we're talking about?
Let me explain to you. A tree fell in the building. There is not weekly church
All right.
services, but there are ministry services going on continuously.
Have there ever been weekly services there?
Yes, sir.
But can
Do y'all continue to, do y'all?
Let me carry
We
this.
are continuing
I want to shut this
every,
down.
as
Hold on,
much as we
let me
can.
finish.
All right.
After y'all repair
I'm
it,
gonna shut
are
this
y'all
down.
going
I gotta
back
shut this.
to
We gotta move
weekly
on.
services there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Pastor Johnson,
may I please
I appreciate you.
speak?
I got a motion and a
of
second on the
course,
floor.
there's nothing
Pastor
that
Johnson.
says weekly
Pastor
for us.
Johnson.
Let go, baby.
All in favor of the motion, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm on abstain because.
I got one
I'm just not
abstention.
getting-
Pastor, you've got your exemption. Hopefully you'll get your tree off your church soon. If you need anything else from us, let us
It's
know.
off.
But Mr. President,
The
I
whole
us know.
building has
I just
changed.
want
All
to say a thing to be clear about this.
Ms. Brooks,
To
you sure?
be a church service, you don't have to have church. every week.
Exactly.
I'm a member of New Zion Missionary Baptist
And they
Church.
only
It's
have
one of
for
the
Fifth
second
Sunday.
running churches in Leland, Mississippi. The second oldest black church. We have church every first and third.
Okay.
It does not mean that we're not good enough. It's about what works. I know some churches only meet once a month. So I just think it's insulting that you got
Thank
to
you.
have church
No.
every week.
No.
So every
Well,
week
you
does
just
not
asked me that.
constitute if you're a church or
Pastor.
not. And maybe you may not. Maybe your church may go every week, but don't
Okay.
attack other churches because they only maybe meet once a week or once a month or twice a month.
All
I
right.
think that's
Okay.
that's insulting.
And that's
to
fine.
them
Let me do
when
this,
you
Lee.
have a
You
minister
go ahead and wrap
here
up, Lee, and I'm
to
gonna say
talk.
something. We can be through with this. Pastor Johnson will be. have a
Let
good
me
day.
tell you, I'm not attacking anybody.
Well, that wasn't
No,
attack.
hold on, let me finish.
First of all,
Let me finish. I
your
listen to
voice.
everything.
Raise
Well,
your voice, talk to me.
then don't talk over
Raise
me.
your
Well, then
voice.
don't talk over
Let
me.
me
Raise your
You do
voice.
not talk over me.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Raise
So
your voice,
I'm
talk to
going
me.
to ask
All right,
the
I'm gonna have to shut
question.
this down if
I'm
you all
going
keep
to
going.
ask
Go
the
ahead, Lee.
question, and when I ask the question, there's nothing I want to do other than support a church, but I'm going to make sure that it's right. So just because I'm asking a question, I'm attacking them.
No.
I'm going by the attorney, what he says. I'm going by what our tax assessor says. And if you think I'm going to it blind, you're crazy. I'm not.
Now you
But
got me
let-
mixed
yeah,
up with
so-
your family
no.
now.
Lee, are you
got me,
finished?
don't call me crazy
Brooks.
now.
Ms. Brooks.
Now you got he's attacking
through.
me in a meeting, calling me crazy.
Pastor Johnson.
I don't appreciate
Pastor
that.
Johnson.
Don't tag
Thank
me.
you. We're good.
I'm not the one.
I'm
I
finna
ain't
move on.
going.
Hey,
You got you
Chief,
you
I'm finna
got me
move
mixed
on.
up the folks you deal with.
What was the next one?
That way.
Ms. Lee, come on up, please.
That
Pastor
way.
Johnson. Pastor Johnson, have a
Lee
good day.
Gordon.
Ms. Lee,
Thank you so much. I
Come on.
just want to invite Mr. Jordan to call me.
Well, he just voted against.
Ms.
He
Brooks.
abstained.
Ms. Brooks.
What?
Come on,
It's
Ms.
okay for him to call me
You're too loud,
crazy,
Ms.
Mr.
Brooks.
President?
Ms. Brooks, you're out of order.
No, I was not in order for him to call me
Now, Ms.
crazy.
Brooks,
When
if
you
you
start
continue,
attacking
if
me
you
for
continue to
things,
stay out of order, I'm gonna have to do.
no, I
Okay,
can
I'm
say
not
some
gonna deal with
things
that.
about him. I can use
Come
some
on up.
adjectives as
Hey,
well.
y'all be good.
He
Appreciate
would
you
like
now.
my adjectives,
All right,
and they
come
all
on up, Ms. Lee.
facts.
Please give me a call.
But
Come on.
don't call me crazy then.
You're out of order, Ms. Brooks.
I'm not out of order when
Come on, Ms.
I
Lee.
get attacked,
You're out of order, Ms.
sir.
Brooks. Come
I'm
out, you're out of
praying.
order, Ms. Brooks.
I just want
Come
to
on,
be
Ms. Lee.
clear.
You're out
When
of
you make
order,
an
Ms.
attack or
Brooks.
call me an adjective, be prepared for me to clap back and call out facts on
You're
you.
out of order, Ms.
I
Brooks.
don't think you ready for that.
How you doing, Ms. Lee?
I'm good, I'm good.
Come on.
Blessed, had a favor, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. All right, calm down, y'all. I'm here to present to you all that we have Interfaith Federal Credit Union who sent payments for one of their clients, Sabrina and Jacques Rogers, taxes. The envelope shows that the postmark date was January 15th. It was delivered to the Chancellor Clerk's office April the 25th.
Come on.
And I received it April 28th. In between time, it was sold in tax sale for this year. So
Okay.
I'm requesting that the board void that tax sale, allow Interfaith Federal Credit Union to pay these people taxes, and we will reimburse the buyers, the tax sale buyers.
Need a motion?
So moved.
And a second. I seconded myself. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Lee?
I know that's all, but I just want to say, the tax sale was completed April 14th, I think. We went a whole week in one day, so it's completed. I will be doing that report at the next meeting.
Thank you, Ms.
All
Lee.
right, thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mark, did we overlook you?
No, good.
You good? Did we get everybody?
Another tax exemption. You have another tax exemption application?
I do.
Okay.
Today, but I
Okay.
got it last week.
All right.
I got it last week, so I'm still in process.
Mars Food Company?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we aren't ready for that? All right, thanks.
All right. Ms. Carter? Yeah, you know.
We have expended 59.4% of our budget through May 5th compared to 66.66%. Total receipts deposited April 22nd through March through May 5th total $1,487,472.22. I am requesting board approval of our claims docket totaling $561,477.39.
Questions? I need a motion.
So moved.
And I got a second, and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The Justice Court judges are requesting travel to attend their 2025 Mississippi Justice Court Judges Association Summer Convention on June 28th through July 3rd in Biloxi, Mississippi, with estimated cost of $5,532.86 with registration and lodging paid in advance.
I need a motion.
So moved.
And a second. Second, thanks, Jerry. You got a copy of that agenda? I just want a copy of it. When you get a chance, email it to me. I'll tell you why.
You didn't carry the motion.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry it. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
Judge Renita Johnson is requesting the usage of the Convention Center for their parent-child workshop on July 15th and July 22nd from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with fees waived.
So moved.
You got a motion? And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Judge Kara White Richard of the 4th Circuit District of Mississippi is requesting that the board accepts the order appointing and setting compensation for court administrator Nettie R. Seard effective July 1, 2025, with Washington County paying their portion of her salary at 43%.
So moved.
Thanks, Jerry. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting approval to distribute tax laws, homestead reimbursements to Hollandale, Western Line, and Leland School District with Washington County keeping its portion of $214,675.
So moved. Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I received a letter from the town of Arcola, and I emailed the clerk this morning just to get more clarity on it. They're requesting use of the Chambers cafeteria. It doesn't have a date, it doesn't have anything on it. They're requesting permanent use.
For what?
It's just to use it for anything.
For what?
No, let me-
They just said they want to use it for events.
I'm talking about what building?
No.
The Chambers.
No, not the building, that's the gym. The cafeteria. Let me do this.
Where the cafeteria is?
It's a separate building. There's, you know where the gym is. The building's right here. It's pretty much, needs a lot of work on the inside. And myself and Jeremy, we're taking a look at it, but might be another interest in it just to have access. But they can have access as of now, but there's a lot of work that needs to happen.
It's the same building or different building?
You got 3 different buildings sitting there.
Within the building?
No, it's on the property.
When you come to the gym, there's where the buses used to run.
Oh, you come on the campus?
Oh, yeah, it's on the property.
Okay. So who the cafeteria belongs to?
The county, blown up.
And who wants to use it?
The city of Hall.
Well, it seems like that works some after school, wouldn't it? I'm just asking.
No, there's not. They're being very general, and we've had somebody who came before us and made a request of this board, and just as I'm going to attempt to remind you about saying a whole bunch, they were having some problems with their food distributions in the community, leaking ceilings, that kind of thing, all kinds of stuff going on, and they were asking if there was another property. We have not communicated publicly. This is the first communication that's going on with this building. I don't know what kind of access Hollandale is asking for. It's extremely vague,
City.
that letter. Okay. It does. We need to, first we got to clean it up. And when we get back in there again, we'll call you, Jerry. We take a look at it. But right now, we just kind of need to hold until we can all come together and we can bring you some pictures of where we are and have you make a decision as to how we utilize that property going forward. Because if we don't utilize it, the only other option is to remove the extra buildings.
And it's on the school campus.
It's on that property.
Does the school have any access, or do they use the building?
Nobody uses it. It's county building. It's our building.
I understand, but it's on the school campus.
It's on the property, yes. Okay. All right. So you good, Ms. Carter? That was it? We're not going to take any action on that just yet.
Do
Is
we-
that-
so
that's
we
okay
need
with
to
the board?
rehab- We need to rehab the building.
You need some cleanup on it. Let me
But
double
it's
check.
no major problem, just clean up.
When the building that old and you don't get in detail and bring a structural person in to take a look, you can't say. But you good, Ms. Carter? Marcus, you got something else for us?
I just wanted to see if we could add one thing. There was some, Entergy has sent some easements to the port of Greenville. And in discussions with Mr. Hart, I said that they should probably come before the board, and I forwarded that information to the attorney Griffin last week. And what Entergy is wanting to do, they want to relocate some of the poles and remove some of the pole lines that cross Harborfront Road, because in the, not immediately, but in the coming years, they're going to be bringing some equipment in on the port, and to get it in on truck, it's going to conflict with getting the material to the new power plant that they're building. And so these poles, instead of being in the road right of way, the county owns several parcels along Harborfoot Road, and it would be on several of the properties that the county owns. I didn't see any objection to it. It actually will be a benefit to the port terminal itself when they move equipment and stuff in and out. And I just asked Mr. Griffin to look at the lease or the easement agreement, right-of-way agreements, and see if he had any objections. If he does, then I would just recommend the board approve those so Entergy can move forward with.
Everybody from go ahead, Griff.
No, and I had no objection to them. I know there's just some concern expressed about what properties that they manage that belong to the county, but.
Wait a minute. That they, the Port Commission.
Port
made.
Commission.
Everything
Right.
down there that they can manage, we own it.
So they're managing it and they're making the recommendations, so I don't have any objection.
Everybody good?
Yep. If you just get those documents to him, to the president, and get them signed, I'll get it back to the correct
I need a
person
motion
in
to
the-
approve access.
So moved.
I got a motion? And
Thank
I'm
y'all.
gonna second it. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Motion carries. All right, Griff, yeah, that gives them access to whatever they need. Y'all good? Ms. Hansel, you good?
Yes. For my report, I have bonds for approval today from the board. I have the bond for Marcus Hooker Jr., the county engineer, and Horace Reed, the assistant road manager. I also have a bond for Neil Smith. He's a commissioner for the Broad Slough Drainage District, and I need the board's approval on these bonds this morning.
Broad Slough.
Yeah, Broad.
I got a motion.
Second.
I got a second. Broad Slough. Now, Griff, I'm gonna have to be
That's the
honest.
drainage district.
I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I have never heard of Broad Slough. You, Lee?
Yeah, it's a drainage district.
Jerry, you ever heard of that? Lee, you ever heard of that?
Huh?
Broad Slough.
That's the name of the drainage district.
That's the name of the drainage.
Wait a minute, that's too many secrets.
Yeah, there are
Tell me who the board is and who appoints that board. What's going on?
That, Mark making this, right? I guess, because
Mark.
on that map, we had it.
Broad Slough, drainage district.
I mean, what do they take care of?
Yeah.
No.
What area does it take care of?
The drainage district?
Broad Slough.
Slough.
Broad
No,
Slough.
and you gotta understand, these drainage commissioners are appointed by the Chancery Court, and
Okay. I've never heard of that.
and they just consist of local farmers and property owners, they continue with the various ditches and streams that they regulate.
Yeah, but Griff, if we're approving the bond, that means we're paying for the
No,
bond.
all bonds come to the county.
That means we're paying.
All bonds for every citizen.
All right, let me be, let me be clear about something, both of you all.
No, sir.
If we're approving it, we're not paying
You're
for
not
it.
approving it, you just received it.
If you filed it, we don't pay for it.
It's spread in your minutes so it can be filed and sent.
Somebody need to tell me, no, we don't pay.
There's a difference between approving and receiving so that it can be spread in minutes.
I clearly understand that. The question I'm
Mr.
asking is,
President, it just received on the minutes, that's how we don't pay.
are we spending money, Ms. Hampton, you just filing?
No, we don't pay for those bonds.
We don't pay for
That's
this.
all I need.
The commission does.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Thank you all.
No, we don't spend any money.
Best person probably to explain all this to you all is Mr. Harold Mitchell.
Harold Mitchell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good, as long as we're not spending money.
Because he brings most of the bonds.
All right, it's a matter of record.
And we also have today the grand jury report from the circuit clerk. I think you all have gotten a copy of it. You all may want to,
Now, this is a grand jury report from 2025. You all received it April 28th. I don't see a date on this report itself. Is there a reason?
would you actually, Mr. Wilson?
I don't see, I see when you received it.
This is all that they gave us.
I don't
It's not
see.
a full report.
Mr. Griffin, you familiar with a grand jury report look like this?
This is the first time we've received it like this.
I've never seen one like this.
What is that?
Normally, there are multiple pages and details.
Well, maybe
What's
we
happening?
limited.
No.
Have we improved?
Presented to us by the circuit
We have
clerk's
improved.
office, and we asked about the additional pages. So
We
this is
need
not
the-
received.
We
So
need,
we didn't improve.
you had, Mr. Griffin, what do we need to get a full report? Something's not happening.
Request that of the
full report.
the chief justice,
I need a motion.
chief judge.
I need a,
Wasn't gone.
I need a motion to request a full grand jury report instead of one page. We can't accept this. This is not the full report. I need a motion to get the full report.
You will.
Somebody send us one page. I got a motion. I'm gonna second it myself. Any questions on getting the full grand jury report? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. Motion carried. Mr. Attorney, would you write a letter to make sure we get the full report? Anything else, Ms. Hanson?
Yes, sir. That's it.
That's it?
That concludes what I have today.
All right. Any other?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to request that the board would take care of the employer's, fees relative to my, over-the-cap expenses.
Give me a motion.
I always request the board to do that.
I need a motion.
And this would be those fees that go to the
How much?
retirement.
How much?
It's $6,000.
Need a motion?
I thought we did that the last meeting.
You did.
We did it for both of them.
No, we didn't. No, we did one.
Okay.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Hanson?
That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Any other additions to the agenda?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, Delta Health Alliance.
come on.
So at the Leland Wildlife Festival, which was really a wonderful festival, there was a lady with Delta Health Alliance, and I did not bring a card, it's in my car. But the program, and I just want to just educate people about it if they don't know. They're working with the Dolly Parton Imaginary Book Program. And what they do, if you're between the ages of 0 to 5, they will mail you a book every month until you turn 5 years old. So the concern, I asked her, did she go to the Head Starts and the daycare? She said she did. I don't know if she went to all of them, but the concern is that the parents were not turning the paperwork back in, and so they didn't get the program. So we have a wonderful opportunity where children can receive a book every month for free. And I just want to, put it out there to our community and also put on our website where we can educate, we can start the reading program starting at the age of 2 months old.
Can you get a flyer?
Yeah, I got a flyer. And I'm just reiterating because I just know what reading did for me as a child. I went to so many countries as a child. I was 4 years old when I was in France, okay? But I want kids to understand the importance of reading. You can learn so much. You can imagine a whole world for your future. And we got an opportunity to, our babies can get a book every month until they 5 years old. So I just want to put on our website and
Please
just
do.
encourage citizens out there. And the location is located in Leland. It's across the street from Bush Funeral Home. in Leland on Broad Street. So, and I'm sorry I don't have the latest name. I'm sure they have other locations for Delta Health Alliance, but I know they do have that location. It's a simple application, you can easily fill out. And I told her, can I get some, and we can have some in our county should, you know, people in Greenwood just want to get their kids a part of it, don't have to drive all the way to Leland, they just come to the courthouse, and they can fill that application out, and get some in Hollandale, and I call it in other locations, so we can get our babies on the next level of reading,
Okay.
not just learn their
All right.
colors.
If you'll get the flyer to Ms. Carter, she'll get it on the website.
I will do.
All right, anything else?
My brain took me there.
Sheriff Department?
Mhm.
Hey, Jazz, anybody back there from the Sheriff Department? Tell them we wrapping up. Turn them loose.
Good morning.
Amen.
Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Good. Let me look into my emails, sir. Give me just a minute. Sheriff is requesting the usage of the Washington County Convention Center for June 9th through 10th from 8 to 5 for a dispatcher training course.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, show.
Amount, you get no number, no amount.
What
How
kind
many?
of numbers you need?
We always have to get a number, don't we?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
For the
just
record.
saying.
What kind of numbers you need?
Is cost, any cost involved?
Well, it's the cost of the training, yes.
How much?
$300 a person.
How many people?
The class would be at least 20 people.
Do 25.
It's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to get at the convention center.
25 times that number, Ms. Carter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
And the classes are
Any opposed?
The classes are 8 hours a day.
Motion
Wonderful.
carries.
You're learning.
Anything else, Chief?
No, sir, that's gonna be it.
Chief, I got a check for you. I got to get it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for your anniversary.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
I went, it was wonderful.
I can imagine.
It was a wonderful time.
Amen. Thank you. Appreciate that's all. Thank y'all.
All right. Did we get everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Did we get everybody? All right, I guess we did. Lee, you good?
No. I got some concerns. Last meeting, there was a closed meeting in here, executive meeting, and I have a problem when the talk goes outside this room and people get texts, threatening texts, because people in that meeting was going outside this meeting, an executive meeting, and telling things that went on. The administrator got a threatening message. You got a threatening
I
message.
sure did.
And I have a problem with that. So I'm saying, and I guess I'm addressing the attorney, we've got people in here that leave this meeting and go outside this meeting, on an executive meeting, and go out there and say everything that went on. That puts Ms. Carter at jeopardy, this board at jeopardy, and I'm very concerned that it's not professional at all, and that should never happen. And I would ask them to read the messages they got, but it's not appropriate for everybody in this room, or nobody in this room, rather.
Mr. Attorney?
Well, unfortunately, it's really sad that anyone would go outside the meeting and discuss with others. The purpose of executive sessions is so that the public does not know who said what and what was discussed, other than the limited motions, second and carry that you put in the minutes, okay? The minutes will not reflect the contents of the executive session. However, our Attorney General's office has taken the position that anyone has a right to go out and discuss what took place in the executive session. So I don't know how you police it, you know, except to encourage everyone to be cautious and ensure that you do not communicate information that may be harmful or expose others to risk. That's all. Other than that, I don't know how you police it.
Is it possible for this board to take action and say, when we go into executive session, no phones are allowed in there?
Because I feel like if we have an executive session and I'm asked a question
Exactly.
Understood.
Let me look at it and see exactly what can be done.
Okay.
All I know is what the Attorney General has written, with respect to
Okay.
an opinion that I've read, okay, some years ago.
Okay.
And let me see what has evolved from that and see if there has been any changes. Because, you know, pretty soon, we're gonna get to the point where we might as well discuss everything in open session.
Right. You know, I'm going to go ahead and comment now since it's on me, and I do have, that's extremely disturbing to me as well, because I think when you go into executive session, there's just the sanctity of executive session means that you stay in there. We're all supposed to be professional people, and we're all supposed to be able to trust each other, but obviously that is not the case here. But we're going to all just have to manage it in a different way, and I have some ideas how we're going to do it, because there's some things that obviously will not stay in executive session. And as the attorney was saying, there's absolutely no controls. But there are measures that we can and we will take to make sure that what we discuss openly in executive session stays in executive session. So there'll be limited discussion in executive session, but hopefully by the information that's disseminated, you'll have everything you need and to make your decisions and have your conversations as limited as they may be. Because there's no sanctity, there's no secure measures that we can take to make sure what we say in executive session stays in executive session. But we'll do the best we can to work through that. Don't forget, our next board meeting, we do have our road inspection. So we've got to get it done. We will need minutes taken while we're doing it. And I just want to get that on the list. We still are looking for a date for the jail inspection sometime soon, and we'll do it. Ms. Brooks?
Yeah, I do have a concern, a couple employees brought to my attention. So if a person drops a pipe on a car, do they immediately go do a drug test? How do we determine if they need a drug test or not?
If any kind of an incident, according to the OSHA standards, yeah, you should be drug tested, any kind of an accident.
Because from my understanding, it's brought to my attention that someone dropped a pipe on a car last week and no drug test was done.
That's unacceptable.
Are you familiar? Have you heard about that, Miss? Okay.
That's unacceptable. Could you mind giving any details? I guarantee we'll follow up. Not now. You get me and Ms. Carter get together. We're in open session.
It was last week, and they said no drug test was done on the employee who dropped the pipe on a car.
We'll follow up.
Yeah, but also for the month of May. Month of May is the Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month.
Oh my God.
Also, the one we keep going back to is so important is Mental Health Awareness Month. As we know, mental health is so important. They would get so much involved to identify ways how we can make our community a safer place and not just make it a taboo issue to talk about mental health, because sometimes it's just a matter of counseling and sometimes it does need medication. But my biggest concern is where are we, coming back to the conversation again, should the police go on the scene, the person has not committed a crime, do we start talking about a location where we take that person to be held to be okay, Mr. President? I know we were talking about, but where are we with that, with mental health? Should the police come on the scene, they hadn't committed a crime? Because that's a real problem all over the nation, where people in mental health are being arrested for illness versus a crime. And I know we've been talking about, and I just want to know, where are we with that piece to a location to put a person to get them up to par? Miss Carolyn was coming on a regular, and I don't want to put that on the back burner in our county, because we have a lot of mental health going over here in Washington County.
Okay. Now, if you remember, if it wasn't the last meeting, the meeting before, Chief gave us some numbers for rehabbing our cell, new padding and that kind of stuff. And that's where we are right now, trying to get that in place, get that done. So that's where we're going as the Board of Supervisors in Washington County, trying to make sure we have a facility to actually assist people in the community who don't need to be jailed but need other assistance.
So that padding would be, the place you're talking about would be
You approved
not
it.
for the, I know I did, but I just want for clarity. It's not for an inmate, it's for people, let's say some issues are going on, we would take them to that location. But is it gonna be inviting or is it gonna look like a jail? Because at the end of the day, it's a illness. And so my concern is that we ensure that it's inviting, not making not look like a jail cell, you know? Because I mean, this is an illness, and we got to find ways to be mindful of people when they're going through issues like that. And you know, that's a real concern of mine. I know.
What I do as the ward man is I try to make that stay as temporary as possible.
Do they still have the second floor at the hospital?
No.
No, that's what they need to do. They
Well,
need to get it
All right.
back and all.
But she was asking, what do we doing here in Washington County? Okay. All right, let me get.
What we've done too, though, don't forget, we approved the money, daily money for what y'all are talking about, for the county to pay up so many days while they're holding, is it allegiance or what is it called?
That's correct. We have.
So we approved that, I guess about 2 months ago, that we approved to pay for them to have a daily stay until for so many days. So, and they've got, of course, a lot more, more rooms than y'all have, you know. So we approved that. So that's one thing the county did do. What was that daily fee?
I think we're in pretty
700
good,
or 600?
I think we're in pretty good shape.
It was high.
Okay, because of that contract, it has not been used, is that correct, as of this point?
Right.
So we are in pretty good shape with respect to mental health right now as we speak in Washington County. All right, and.
Wait a minute.
Sir?
Have there been any incidents, Chief?
There haven't been any incidents as of late.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yes, so I'm saying we are in pretty good shape, because we can always refer to Allegiance Healthcare for temporary housing, and then the court will then make a determination whether or not they need further treatment and so forth and so on, and they'll go to the state from there.
Okay.
So I don't anticipate anyone except in the dire emergency being put in the jail or incarcerated in our jail. You know, it's good to have a facility inside.
Well, we're gonna fix the facility regardless. That's been approved.
Also, May 6th is National Nurses Day. And you know, we just got to pay homage to our nurses, even though we do have a shortage here in Washington County and Delta. But you know, I'm encouraging our next generation, young people that's graduating out of high school, consider that profession, going into healthcare. If you know, right now you can become a nurse practitioner and just starting by going to community college, should you choose to, you know, in the future. But I just encourage, you know, our next generation, look at the healthcare industry, because you are so needed, because we got so many nurses that provided wonderful services, but they're retiring.
Okay.
And so you're so needed, and I just want to thank the nurses out here that can hear the sound of my voice across social media.
Okay. Jerry, you good? David, you have something for us? Come on. What you doing?
Back to the sandbagging machine. I have.
Oh, you can't correct. You on point.
Come on,
I said
David.
you come on back. That's good.
Closest thing to the one I recommended is $39,025.
Is it gonna do what we need? My back hurts now.
Not near as well as the other one I'm recommending.
All right,
Well, I'd like to go with the one he recommended.
Yeah, let me
The
say this. too.
sandbagger. Is it called a sandbagger?
Yeah.
Ultimate bagger.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we have our associates, county people that work with us filling these bags. And I hate to tell you all what it costs for a back injury for somebody to be out. So it's well worth the minute extra money.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got David trying to hang and grab and feel, or myself, Haley.
Also, it's 2025. You don't have to do all that anymore.
Question to the attorney, should he present along with that just a letter saying this, the reason we
The worst and best.
chose this because it sows itself, or whatever, something that other one does not do?
It's less labor intensive.
Yeah, and just put it, that way we can put in the minutes with it.
Well, there's descriptions of both of them here.
All right, so what's the pleasure of the board?
Well, I'm moving. We go with the sandbagger recommended by Mr.
Burford.
Burford.
I got a motion.
40, how much, at 40, how much?
No, it's higher than that.
48.
No, it's higher than
48.
that.
How much was it?
48,750.
That's it.
All right, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hmm.
Motion carries. Anything else, David?
Turn
No,
it over to
that's
Ms.
all.
Helmsley.
That's it. Hey, okay.
There's a sole source letter. that
Yeah, I
needs
just
to
sent
get
that letter
looked
over
at.
there.
Okay, it's over here.
There, you can-
That's where y'all wanted it? For the record.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, y'all good?
Send
Oh,
it
Lee,
over there.
How long will it take till you get it in?
lead time.
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
I've got it
Outstanding.
in stock, but it's.
When it gets here, let us know so we can see a demonstration.
How is it hauled? Is it on the trailer itself, or do you have to put it on a trailer, or what?
You have to put it on the trailer, but now when I met with, Chief Engineer Peter Nimrod at the levee board a few weeks ago when the water was coming up, just to have a little round table with him, they have a facility on Eaton Street, I think.
Yep.
Y'all know where the rock pile
I do.
is?
Yeah.
on
We know where it is.
Yeah.
All right, all those buildings back there belong to the levee board, and he has offered a building for us to put sand in, which will help, keep it, the drier, the better.
Yep.
And we will probably set that up,
In
put the
there.
sandbagging machine in there, set that up,
Okay.
and that's where that will be done, or it won't be in anybody's way.
Could you take a look at that property and come back to the board with a recommendation so we can get it in the minutes?
Yes, I will.
Anything else for David? Hey,
Okay, before you go, you finish with that?
yeah, David, you're good, thanks.
Okay,
Thank you.
Before you go, last week, the deputy coroner came to my office and provided some documents, and, when I looked at the documents, there were, hospital documents for 3 individuals and death certificates.
Hospital.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hospital, yeah, there were hospital admissions documents.
Watch this
And,
here. Go ahead. Come on.
there were also death certificates, and so I contacted the coroner's office because I really didn't know what they wanted. They said they wanted pauper's burials. And in the end, I suggested to the coroner that she reduce her request in writing because she was requesting pauper's burials for 3 individuals. And I felt like she needed to put it in writing so that you all could respond to it. And I have not received it. I just want to make you aware that that may be coming down the road.
All right, let me do this. So we're paying storage. I don't want to sound rude or heartless, but it's about that. It's a storage fee involved, and we don't meet for 2 weeks. It's a daily fee, I think it is. What's the pleasure? So
How
what
do we go down and do the pauper's burial?
once she gets appropriate,
Paperwork.
And what if she doesn't get the paperwork?
we'll hold them in storage.
Yeah.
But once the proper documentation's done, we'll move forward.
I mean, I think she needs to submit it in writing to you because just to send you these papers. is
I
not
said,
enough.
once we receive the
Yeah.
proper paperwork,
Once we see that document, we'll move forward with the
and
proper
she can
burial.
go on, get them on out. 'cause
All right, so
that's-
give me that motion.
That's the motion just made.
And a second.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else? Hey, okay, I'm coming. Come on.
Yeah, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier, and I think it's important.
Can't hear you.
I think it's important that we as a board, commit ourselves to keeping in executive session any information that's discussed in the executive session. Everyone who discussed matters in executive session want to be open and honest with this board. And it's difficult to do so if there's a belief that that information is going to be disseminated outside the board meeting. We're about to have situations now where there are going to be a lot of lawsuits that's going to be discussed in executive session, because now we're going to have to defend all lawsuits now, unfortunately, for the county. Okay, the insurance company has sent us notice that these lawsuits are going to have to be defended by the county now.
What lawsuits?
Locally, any lawsuit filed against the county,
Well,
personal injuries and et cetera, that would normally go, that they handle, the insurance handle directly, they say they're gonna have to be handled by the county now.
Why is that?
Because I guess they no longer wanna be responsible for the lawyers.
So I got a question. So,
Yeah.
all right, like on a municipal level, you have MML, MML, so if you're a part of MML,
Massive.
that's up in action. So MML, they deal with all liabilities. So you telling me that the agency,
MLL has not taken that position.
I know that, but I think that's a concern that counties need to start addressing. If you're gonna be a part of MASSA, then you can't even deal with our liability. What's the purpose of having MAS there, not addressing that issue?
They will pay anything in excess of $10,000 attorney fees and costs, on reimbursable conditions, okay? We pay the initial $10,000 anyway. There are a lot of lawsuits, to be perfectly honest with you. We'd rather have them in-house anyway because they settle some cases. They have settled some cases that never should have been settled. I'm being honest.
But you know what? That means that it's taken away. I guess you would be probably the lawyer that's addressing it.
I can recommend other lawyers. We'll control it, okay? But what I want to talk about most so is what we discussed in executive session, because if someone is receiving communication from some third party because of something that took place in executive session, threatening them, that's a federal crime, y'all. That's a federal crime. It can be prosecuted. Somebody can go to jail because of what we do in executive session. Number one, somebody in executive session could be harmed by someone who feels they have not been treated fairly in executive session. That's a danger to our health, safety, and welfare, board members.
I got a question.
So we gotta be more responsible, more accountable, and do the right thing when we're in executive session. It's simple as that. We cannot continue to disclose information from executive session. I'm not saying anyone has, because it hadn't come to me. But if it's being done, it needs to stop. It needs to stop now. Otherwise, we're not going to get the information in executive session that this board ought to have and receive objectively in order to make fair and appropriate decisions. Why are they trying to we trying to govern this county the way it ought to be governed?
Ms. Brooks.
You got to stop.
I understand what you're saying, but when we are in executive session, sometimes we do take action. We take a vote.
We do.
So you're saying that, let's say the person don't like the vote that we took, but we still have to report the vote out.
The vote,
right,
yes.
you report.
So,
there was a
my
motion
concern
made and second to take this action. That's it. But the discussions should not come out.
But I was about to say, but you do have people upset on some of the decisions that are made, and they're made public. Once you take that vote, people don't always agree with your vote. And actually, that comes public. So sometimes people may just get upset because you voted against it or voted for, and that's public knowledge.
Ms. Brooks, you do understand the sanctity of executive session and the importance of keeping things confidential.
No, I'm not talking about the
But you do understand that.
No, can I get finished talking? What I'm saying to him is that a lot of times people are still upset about your vote that you take in executive session or open session. Because at the end of the day, the vote you take in executive session is not remain in executive session. It comes out in open session to allow the public to know what your vote is.
That's the total vote, but the conversation that we as individuals have
I'm not talking
is not privileged.
Mr.
That's the piece we're talking about.
I understand it, but I was putting back at the end.
To record us in executive session is unacceptable. That's the type of conduct we're talking about.
I understand, but at the end of the day.
And it's simple. Yeah, decisions that are made do come out, and we do explain those, but we never tell what Carl McGee said or what Carl McGee's position was. Because when I share with you.
If you take a vote, you're going to tell what your position is.
I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell the world.
But when you take a vote, you're going to say 3-2 or 4-1.
I got you, Jerry.
Can I get finished? You're going to say 4-1 or 3-2 all unanimous, but you're going to give out how people voted. It's going to be Brooks, yay.
No, we're not.
But you're supposed to do that. So are you saying when you come out of executive session, you're not supposed to tell how a person voted in executive session? That he just say you're not.
No. Here's what I'm saying. The minutes will reflect how you voted. But that's not what I'm talking about.
She knows what we're talking about.
It's the actual conversations. For instance.
Stop. No, you can't. We finna wrap this up. She know exactly what you're talking about.
No, I'm just asking a question for clarity for everyone.
Come on, we gotta wrap this up.
People don't always like the way you vote.
Why don't you and Chalisa read your Texas?
I'm not doing that. It's not important, but I think the point is
Shalisa,
clear.
You wanna read your text?
No. I mean, that's on you.
Well.
Oh my God.
And there lies.
That's why I'm saying.
You don't want to read
We-
that.
That,
Decision maker.
that's right.
Oh man, you don't want that done.
Charlize doesn't have a vote, okay? So if someone said, you said A, B, C, and D, Charlize.
And I got they recorded you.
That's right.
But anyway, I think we're perfectly clear. Now let me say one more thing, and we're about to recess until the next board meeting, which is going to be on the 19th. Now, the Lupus Foundation. Anybody here familiar with the Lupus Foundation? And Lupus?
LUPUS.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's how. Now,
That's
didn't
the
we
illness.
receive a notification at the last meeting about an
Going
event
to
on
something.
Saturday?
Yeah.
You got that too?
An annual, walk at Hardy Park.
Right.
Right, and that's about to happen. And we have a county employee that's involved who's actually managing the T-shirts. If you all would like to have a T-shirt and walk at Hardy Park, Hardy Park on this day to support the Lupus Foundation. It's a very worthwhile foundation. I do apologize because I didn't bring my flyer back. And, but I think all of us got that flyer at the last meeting 2 weeks ago. But it's important that we do support this worthwhile foundation here in the community. We have a number of people that we work with and friends that we have who are part of this foundation. Lee?
When you're through that, I just want to update you on something on the humane shelter
Please.
thing. You know, we had talked about Harvey Street, you know, going out there. There's some concerns about sewage and water and stuff right there. So I had a call the other day from the, right down there by the Western Line bus station, that fire station, we had the trash can. They're doing away with that building. They're not going to use that as a fire station anymore, so they was wondering if we were interested in maybe turning that into the shelter. Mark come out and looked at it, not enough room for the septic system, all that. It's just not enough. It's small. Well, not only that, come to find out, that's the school's land that sits on.
16 seconds.
Yeah, that's the school's land. It's not even our land. So, and I think I'm right about this, but he's checking into it just to see another possibility. You'd have water and sewer. Some time ago, we used to keep up with it. If you'll face the convention center to the left on not Black Ball, but St. Chris, there's a big long strip that's never mowed or anything.
Right.
It used to be a pasture.
That's
I
Glendale.
think
That's Glendale.
I think that is our property.
A
All
big
of that's
piece of
our
it is.
property. It's about 4 acres down through there.
So
So
we
he's
have to the
just
front.
checking on it. You would have sewage, you'd have water there. So that may be a possibility,
Right.
but he's just checking
Where
to
is
see.
this?
Right
you're
next to on Glendale Road.
If you're facing the convention center and the racetrack and all that, to the left is
To the
Glendale
left.
Road. If you'll pull up, it used to be a horse pasture. It's
Coming
wide,
back.
it's long. Yeah, it goes towards
I mean,
Leland.
that's the initial place we went.
Well, it's a ditch. Cape Matters. The
I
ditch.
think Glendale, that's where we initially went.
Wait, no, yeah, it's back that way, but it's right there it's on the corner of Raceway and Glendale, but it's our property. Well, we think it's our
It goes
property.
all the way to the convention center. That
It
was
goes
one-
deep back.
Yeah, that's the area that they was looking at.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
building
But I-
there, but all that area they did say they belonged to the county. That's
It's the
me
county's
and
property.
Miss Fertizzi.
You butt
We're,
up against.
Caleb went
we're
too.
he's checking to make sure, but
They
we used to
told,
cut
they
it.
told it was county
Yeah.
property.
Well, and they also, I thought that fire station was on that too, but once they got to looking, it wasn't ours. So they're
Well,
gonna
the
look.
county, let me say that the county's cutting.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
No, this hadn't been cut in years, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it looked right, it's grown up, and like I say, I bet it's 4 acres there. It's skinny, but it's long.
Yeah.
But it's right beside the convention, but it's grown up. It's real high, but they could clean it up. But
It
he's
runs-
checking to see if it's ours.
It runs all the way the length of the convention center property. You have a Mr. Kingdom on one side of it. The rest of it's us. You got that drainage ditch, and it wiggles in and out and gets kind of narrow. Years and years ago, you had a building and grounds director who lived extremely close to that in a trailer. That's a whole nother story. But don't call it, well, you know, but it's, so what do you want to do with that thing?
No, we're just checking to see if that
needs to
is
be
our
cleaned
land.
anyway. It
And if it is, that may be a possibility for the shelter to go there because you got sewer and water right there at it. So it's nothing needs to be done right now other than just find out if it's our land. And
It
he's
is,
working on it now.
But what needs to happen now, from a security standpoint, we have to clear it. Because you can come right there, and we've had people come through that brush
Yeah.
and into the property and vandalize.
Well, we should know this week if it's
Sure.
ours, and I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's ours.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But Yeah, we're gonna have, once you confirm that, let me know.
Okay.
And we'll get it on the schedule to get it cleaned up. We got to still follow up on some of these roads, you know, a little bit better than what we've done. All right, we've been here long enough. It's, hey,
The only thing I had to say was the pipe that rolled off of the trailer, vehicle wasn't damaged. They did call me about that last week. It was actually Gateway's fault, and they said that they were gonna pay for it. They overloaded.
all right, help me, wait a minute, time out a minute. Help me, what did you just say?
What Ms. Brooks brought up
Come on with it.
about, an employee being drug tested. The fault was on Gateway.
Now, tell us exactly what happened, since you brought another entity involved. Gateway was loading what?
It was a trailer that the pipes were loaded on. They were overweighted and weren't loaded right. Gateway did accept responsibility for it.
Gateway, what? Where is Gateway Pipe located?
It's here, but I can't.
You know, but Contact? We got one company, don't we? Contact? Gateway. All right.
No, we do.
But we good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It wasn't our employee.
All right, you can tell them I'm not happy. We'll figure it out later on.
We are good.
All right, we'll talk. Did we miss anything? Don't forget the road inspection next meeting. If everybody's good, we'll go ahead and do a recess till May 19th. I need a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Carter, and we'll get together and do that resolution to get it on to the people that, at the National Fitness Center. And what we'll do during the process, we'll ask them to take a look at Elizabeth. And I'll get the name, Jerry. I'll get the name of the other park. But now, we still got stuff we gotta do at Paul Love, as well as the other parks.